morning. This is Murph and Marcus. Brian Murphy and Marcus the Waterboy Boucher. Streaming live at twitch.tv/The Sports Leader. Sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
See, every day is a new day. That's my profound statement for today. Every day brings us a new perspective on life. And look at us today, full of sunshine and happiness. Not in Daly City, where it's nice and foggy and you have to have your windshield wipers on in the summertime. But we got ourselves a new first baseman in orange and black. And a totally different result as a result, perhaps. And we got ourselves a football team in Santa Clara that's literally hitting the grass today to start the 49er journey. And by the way, we'll be there tomorrow all day. So 49ers fans, gear up, man. Tomorrow's the day. But Marcus, we got a new first baseman. We got a new football team. We got a new you.
Hey.
You got trimmed up by little Romo. A little high and tight. Looking good for Santa Clara. New day, Marcus. Good morning, brother.
Murph, the fresh cut is back. The 49ers are back at Levi Stadium. And dare I say it, are the Giants back? Are the Giants back?
One day can go a long way. Like we always say, nothing worse for a baseball season than daily sports talk radio.
Exactly.
It is the enemy of what baseball is because you cannot overreact to the point where Bob Melvin did not bench Elliot Ramos.
No.
Did not change his lineup other than one big thing, and that is to put Rafael Devers at first base last night.
How about Bob Melvin saying, yeah, we just maybe had our worst defensive effort of the season 2 nights ago. So I'm going to come back and start Rafael Devers at first base, who has never played first base in 1,000 games at the major league level.
It was, shall we say, some might say ballsy, some might say ridiculously stupid, but it worked out great. I mean, honestly, you're right. They come off this game where Jung-Hoo Lee's dropping fly balls. Elliot Ramos is absolutely making a mockery of the position out there. And they go ahead and put a guy who's never been known for his glove, even at his natural position of third base. He wasn't a Gold Glover there. And they go put him in a position he's never played before. It was cheeky, man. It was pretty, shall we say, shake it up type of move. Yeah. And maybe that's what he was looking to do. And guess what? It worked for one night. We'll find out this morning at 9:15 if it can work 2 days in a row.
Yeah, sounds like he could be back at DH today. I know we have some Bob Melvin post-game show that we're post-game sound that we can dive into. But Murph, after we talked about the Willie Adames comments about having no energy and having no life, it seemed like just having Rafael Devers over at first base gave him some energy.
It's a good call.
With Willie Adames smiling across the diamond and Matt Chapman giving him that big hug after the game. Like maybe that was one of the reasons why they finally decided to shake everything up, because we were questioning about whether or not he was going to play first base with the way he's been hobbled and injured and been kind of dragging his feet around the bases the last couple of weeks.
I think it's a good call in that it changed the energy. It changed the look. He had to change something. Like we were like, you can't keep. They've lost 6 in a row, and they played almost objectively speaking their worst game of the season. It had us questioning everything: the direction of the team, the leadership of the team, the managing of the team, and all those questions remain too. That's just one game. I mean, they got to rip off about they got to go 9-3 in the next 12. You know what I mean? So, but all those questions remain. But by putting Devers at first base, he changed something, and he changed it pretty big. And it was a risk, and it remains a risk. Like you said, though, he already said he's not going to do it today, and he's not going to do it every single day. No. But certainly he's out there. So we start listing our great first basemen in Giants history: Willie McCovey, Will Clark, J.T. Snow, Brandon Belt, Rafael Devers.
Hey, I think Rafael Devers might have the highest winning percentage at first base out of all those first basemen.
You posted on Twitter about the same time I got a text from Big D Murph, who said Giants 1-0 in the Devers first base era, and you said Rafael Devers is a 1,000 win percentage.
That's, dude, great minds think alike, Murph. They think alike.
And we should mention for sure the guy who, before we play the win package, which, by the way, do we still have a win package?
Oh, it's been a while.
Did it expire in the system? Was there an expiration date on it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did it have to go get like a new real ID or something? His license is expired?
It definitely had to get a real ID at the Daly City DMV, too.
It's tough getting it.
Well, we should definitely shout out the guy who I think might be, we mentioned him yesterday, and we said this may be foolish, but this guy might be the right guy to get the ball, and it's Landon Roop. There it is. Dude, this guy, the evidence is mounting.
Shaka-laka, shaka-laka,
You know,
shaka-laka.
Guys get opportunities. So guys come up as prospects. You know, this guy's got an electric arm. This guy's a first-round draft pick. This guy was a high school phenom. This guy was a college, he won the Golden Spikes Award, all that stuff. But it doesn't matter until you have the ball in your hands in a stadium with 3 decks, and how do you seize a moment? Different guys see. I mean, I'm not trying to kick Hayden Birdsong while he's down, but right now that's a guy who's having trouble seizing the moment. Some guys don't seize a moment. Some guys do, and they surprise you. They're like, wait a minute. I didn't hear about this guy as much as I heard about Tim Lincecum or Madison Bumgarner or whatever. And I'm not saying the guy's arrived, but I'm saying you're seeing a guy who's got something inside him that grabs the moment. He when he has the baseball in his hand, he's like, this is my opportunity to do something with my baseball life, and he's doing it. Landon frickin' Roop.
Yeah, and Murph, he took advantage of his first opportunity coming out of the bullpen last year for the Giants, and I thought he pitched extremely well in that role, but even having success in that role, he said, look, I'm a starting pitcher. And going into spring training this year, if you would have told me that Landon Roop at this point of the season would have had more success than both Kyle Harrison and Hayden Birdsong, I would have called you a liar. Mm-hmm. I would have said those guys are way higher ranked on my own personal prospect list. But Landon Roop, to your point, hasn't faltered at all. He's got an ERA in the low 3s over the last month of baseball. He's been one of the best pitchers in the bigs. Yeah. This is a guy that has that pit bull in him, and you can tell because he's bitten down on this spot in the rotation, and his jaw is not letting go.
Dude, he was attacking Ronald Acuna up there like in bulldog battles. Like he got him at least 1 strikeout, maybe 2. I have to go back and look here. Actually, Acuna struck out 3 times yesterday. I think he struck him out twice.
I think he got him twice with Uncle Charlie.
Yeah, and I think it was one time. Wasn't it the first? And the way the game started, too, was so brutal. It was he struck out Jurickson Profar, and Bailey whiffed on a curveball.
Yeah, what's up with that?
And, you know, FP Santangelo said something interesting on the radio. By the way, FP does a fantastic job on the radio. So does Joe. Those guys are great. Obviously, Dave and John are amazing, but to have those guys as backups is unbelievable. And he said, you know, ever since Bailey's had a concussion, he's had to go to a bigger helmet. And he said I think he's having trouble seeing the ball as well because the helmet obscures his vision just a little bit.
It's an interesting breakdown.
It was FP's theory, and he said one time he read his lips. He said, "I can't see that," and he said, "You're noticing more of that." It's FP's theory. I'm not saying it's scientifically proven, but it was an interesting thought because you're seeing things like that.
Yeah, and obviously Patrick Bailey started his career with that old school 2-piece mask, and now he does go more with the hockey style. So I like that take.
Something to think about. Something to think about. Anyway, so he strikes out Profar, but Bailey couldn't see the curveball breaking, and Profar reaches on the little league drop third strike, and then Matt Olson hits a pop-up behind third, and nobody can get to it. I mean, it's just a pop-up, and it falls, and it's first and second, nobody out, when really he's gotten 2 outs, and now you're like, you got to be kidding me.
You're like, oh no.
I was like, here we
go again.
Because the Giant and Jurickson, and that's when he struck out Profar, and then he got Drake Baldwin, and he got out of the inning. It was so ballsy. So I love what Landon Roop is doing. I love seeing guys just out there competing their cojones off. He's now 7-6 with a 3.11. He's thrown 101 innings. I mean, the only concern is his inning total. But Buster Posey told us this is what these guys train for. You know, and we expect guys to go deep. I mean, there's no rule that says he can't keep going just because he hasn't done it before. I mean, you could study the history of pitchers. I don't know how big of a leap starters have made throughout the history of the game from, you know, going from, 80, 90, 100 innings to 150 innings. I don't know. I don't have the data on that. But I'm not saying he can't do it.
No, I mean, it's something to keep an eye on since he's already eclipsed the total amount of innings that he threw last year at the major league level. I'll do some math during the break, look at his totals from AAA plus the major league level on that and where he's at now with his innings pitch. But Buster also told us that he wants pitchers who want the ball. And from my outside observation, it seems like Landon Roop is a guy who wants the ball.
Absolutely, which leads to the win package. It exists, everybody. Pat Burrell calling Rob Manfred, and Manfred saying, new phone, who dis?
Who dis?
And he said, you know who it is, you empty freaking suit. It's the San Francisco Giants. Put it in the books. San Francisco Giants 9, Atlanta Braves 0.
Beautiful baseball. Beautiful baseball. It's a marvelous day in the BAY.
I like America.
Healthy flow.
Winning is fun.
Yeah. Buster was a winner, bro.
We want to be a gritty, grindy bunch.
Let's go, Wilbur! Yes, sir! Hey, you don't go.
It's time to go.
Flores lakes it out!
Rafael Devers is a dude.
Patrick Bailey, but he does have the clutch gene.
Patrick Bailey scores!
Oh, it's gotten long and winding and
I
nice.
forgot about those extra parts.
I thought we were going to have El Jefe Grande in there, too, at some point, too.
El Jefe Grande. And just to update everybody, I did just double check. Landon Roop has thrown more innings this year than he did last year combined between the major league level and in Sacramento.
Well,
Already 26 innings more.
Something to watch. But don't tell him. I don't think he wants to hear it. So, and the long lost home run call. Casey Schmidt tattooed one.
Dude, shaved head Casey Schmidt.
Yeah, kind of look trippy look.
Yeah.
Casey Schmidt, number 5.
Big fly! Boom!
And for the first time since June 7th, which is a month and a half, welcome back. A big part of that win package, Wilmer Flores, number 12.
Big fly! Boom!
So there you go. Everybody feels better, but guess what? You can feel bad as soon as 9:15 this morning when they have a first pitch. Justin Verlander against Spencer Strider. And Strider's record is 4-7, but he's the same Spencer Strider. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of velocity. Another FP line from yesterday said Quadzilla. Said Spencer Strider. He said Spencer Strider does not miss leg day.
Yeah, he's got great quads and a great mustache.
And great velo.
Yes, he does.
So he's going to be pumping some
great
cheese.
stuff.
In hot weather, which, I read Landon Roop said, even though Landon Roop's from North Carolina, where it's been known to be humid in the summer, and he said that was one of the hottest games I've ever pitched in my life, and it was hard to breathe. So I don't know what it's going to be like today at 12:15 out there. Sometimes it gets hotter maybe in the later afternoon. I don't know. Maybe we can ask Tony. He's from Kentucky.
Yeah.
He knows this humidity thing.
He knows about that humidity
We
stuff.
only know what it's like to put windshield wipers on your drive to work in July.
Dude, in July,
August.
bro. What are we doing?
49ers tomorrow. We're all over it. We can actually get into some of that too, but we got to get the guest list on the other side. On a brief show, we got an 8:15 pregame today, y'all. And everybody's feeling better because it's a new day on the Sports Leader.
Now, from the O'Donnell Financial Group Sports Desk. Learn more at odfigroup.com. O'Donnell Financial Group, because planning is a process, not a product. It's time for the Young Tony and John Joe question of the day.
Good morning, everybody. Rafael Devers played first base last night for the first time in his career. Finally, I know the YouTube chat was sick of that story. The question today is, why is now the right time? You can join the conversation in the YouTube chat now.
And now it's time for the Protect Your Assets Business and Technology Report with me, David Hollander.
Now back to Murph and Marcus on The Sports Leader. Streaming live on thesportsleader.com and KNBR. The Sports Leader app. Murph and Marcus is sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
Schmidt swings and belts it high and deep out to left field. This one is on its way. It is gone. A no-doubter to left off the bat of Casey Schmidt. And it's 3-0 Giants. Flores swings, hits a high fly ball down the left field line towards the corner. Profar back at the wall, looking up. It is gone. Wilmer Flores hits a 3-run home run. A towering drive down the left field line. And the Giants have broken this one wide open. It is 9-0.
Oh, man, listen to that. Joe Ritzo calling that win, but we hear the sounds. I know on YouTube you can't, but man, oh, man. You know, one of the things when we do this show is because we're here every day, we're getting everybody through our lives, is that things happen in the world and we constantly lose people. Turns out death is a certainty, like taxes. And we lost a huge one yesterday, Ozzy Osbourne, man, and everything that it entails. And as you're hearing right now, Black Sabbath, Iron Man, one of the most iconic guitar riffs. That's Tony Iommi on the riffs, and of course Ozzy on vocal here. Turn it up here, Tone. Yeah. This is early Black Sabbath. Now, of course, Ozzy goes on to become a solo artist, and then, of course, for the later generations, the star of one of the most entertaining reality shows of all time, The Osbournes.
He was.
And just 17 days ago, and we didn't talk about it on the air because something else gigantic happened over the weekend, and we were talking about, like, man, some listeners had said, you guys didn't give Ozzy his due. I'm like, yeah, you're right, we didn't. 17 days ago, Black Sabbath had a reunion in Birmingham, England, which is crazy because Ozzy has not been in good health. And 17 days later, he dies at the age of 76. So for all you Ozzy fans out there, and there are millions and millions of them, we pay our tribute. I got to see Black Sabbath reunited in Oakland. What year was it? It was before COVID. And I had never been a Sabbath guy, and I was there, and I said, oh, I get it. This is incredible. They are amazing. Well, Tony Iommi, the guitarist, is incredible, but Ozzy kept saying after every song, yeah, you people, you effers are beautiful. Yeah, God bless you effers, you amazing effers, you. This constant swearing. But it was amazing because, you know, from the outside, you saw him, you're like, if you were like a straight arrow, you're like, that guy's scary. Oh, my God. He was the biggest teddy bear in the history of the world. So, did you ever watch the show?
So, yeah, pour one out for the Prince of Darkness, Murph. So, growing up, I was aware of Black Sabbath because, like, I would just hear the songs that my dad would play in the car, on the boat. He would bump some Black Sabbath. But I never really, like, digested who Ozzy Osbourne was until the Osbournes came on MTV in the early 2000s. And yes, Murph, I must have watched damn near every episode because I was like, who the hell is this guy? They're showing clips and telling stories about the time he ate a bat's head on stage.
That's the legend, yeah.
Yeah, they apparently thought it was a fake bat, but it was a real bat, had to get tested for rabies. Like, this guy was an icon. And so, like, to be a teenager in the early 2000s to figure out who the hell Ozzy Osbourne was, R.I.P. to a legend.
Sharon! And of course, she's her own thing, too. By the way, this song, Iron Man, I've heard it. You hear it at every college band plays it at a college football game, You're always doing this on, third down, dun, dun, stop them. But I was like, I've never truly researched the lyrics. Like, what is Iron? This is even better than I would imagine. So, said Tony Iommi, who's the guitarist, who's the legend, was pulling off this lick at rehearsal, and Ozzy seized on it. And he's like, we got to do that for a song. And then he says, it quote sounds like a big iron bloke walking about. So the working title was Iron Bloke.
Oh, it should have been Iron Bloke.
And then they said when Bill Ward, the drummer, started playing, they said, it sounds like someone creeping up on ya. So that was the history of the song. So it's pretty good. Wow. Anyway, we'll play a few more. Young Tony. Now, I would have no clue that your cultural awareness of Ozzy Osbourne, rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace, of course. I know the Bone was on it early. They were playing a bunch of his music. Shout out the Bone, 107 the Bone. But yeah, I mean, listen, the first thing I think of is the bat on stage, which apparently was supposed to be a rubber bat. He didn't think it was a real bat, and then actually bit into the thing. And then, yes, the Cubs... Take Me Out to the Ball Game clip was funny.
Man,
we'll have that for the cooler comoming up.
Did you ever watch the Osbournes on MTV?
The Osbournes, no. I did watch Celebrity Apprentice when Sharon Osbourne was on there, and there were clips of Ozzy. I've just known about the guy as just one of those crazy rock stars, and obviously the greatest rock star of all time, right?
Well, I mean, wouldn't go that far, but I'd say he's definitely, I'd say the founder of heavy metal. How's that? That's pretty good. Black Sabbath really founded heavy metal. So, and of course, every single sport event in the world plays Crazy Train. When he went solo in the early 80s and he released Crazy Train, you've heard that at every single sport. There it is. Yeah. Everybody knows. Everybody knows this. It's become almost cliche at sporting events. You hear you hear it at like middle school basketball games, So
this was fun to play on Guitar Hero too.
Good call. Good call.
Didn't the Patriots used to come out to I picture Tom Brady running out.
It feels like everybody comes out to this.
I think everybody too. Yeah, maybe the Giants will today. By the way, it looks like the Giants lineup is out. Young Tone, is that what you sent me here, buddy?
Yes, it is, Murph.
Okay, let's get into it here. Ramos in left, Devers at DH, Adames at short in the 3-hole, Chapman at third. Mike Yastrzemski was not part of the party yesterday, batting fifth.
Yeah, Luis Montos, even on a righty-righty matchup, went with Montos.
Casey Schmidt hitting sixth, and Marcus remarked on his shaved head before the break.
It's a hell of a look.
And then we went off air and we discussed it further, and then you said somebody wrote in about it too, because we both had the same take. We said it was sort of you would think a shaved head would be a simple thing, just shave your head. Yeah. But the way Casey did it, it appears a little, is creepy the word, or sinister, or it doesn't look like smooth and sexy.
No. It looks like he woke up in the middle of the night and just decided to shave his head.
Like, I'm going to shave, like it all.
Like we used to do this, like we'd go to Cal Camp every summer for high school football, and every time one of the offensive linemen would just bring a razor, and next thing you know, all the offensive linemen are just buzzing their hair. Yeah. But it looks terrible because none of them are barbers, and they're trying to do it to each other.
That's what Casey's
One guy's
look
trying
like.
to do it to himself, looking in the mirror. It was a bad look.
That's what Casey's look like.
Yeah, exactly.
So we might want to get Casey to a skilled head shaving barber.
Got to give him a deal with Supercuts or something.
Yeah, there you go. Or Kirk Cousins, great clips.
Yeah, there it is.
Dom Smith batting seventh and first. That's my guy. Now, by the way, is this bad news for Dom Smith that a left-handed hitting Rafael Devers is now wanting to play his position?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is, Dom. Sorry.
What could you get for him on a trade market, I wonder?
Oh, good
question. Did you get anything?
Or do you want to keep him as a late defensive replacement on the bench?
Maybe. I just got a deja vu, by the way. Pat Bailey, you ever get deja vus?
Oh, yeah. I've had him a couple times.
Yeah. Haven't we met before? The movie Top Secret. Remember that guy named Deja Vu? He goes, haven't we met before?
You have sat in that chair before, and you have it on the air at this time
seriously,
before.
We've had the discussion about Devers and Dom Smith. Pat Bailey batting eighth. Oh, he's catching after a night game.
Yeah, early game.
And then Matos in center. Jung Hoo gets the day off. Jung Hoo gets the day off.
Jung Hoo versus Spencer Strider.
Maybe Jung Hoo is mourning the loss of Ozzy.
Yeah.
It's a huge loss. The tributes were wide-ranging all over social media yesterday, man. Pretty much any musician that had access to social media was posting about Ozzy. And a part of it was, too, just what a sweetheart he was. Everybody loved him. He was just the sweetest guy, in addition to being a groundbreaking frontman of one of the greatest bands of all time.
Yeah, I heard our text line is checking in from the 530 saying Lady Gaga last night at Chase Center was rocking an Ozzy Osbourne t-shirt.
There it is. I mean, Pearl Jam checked in. Everybody checked in. All the metal guys checked in. I mean, we even have cut from him at the White House Correspondents' Dinner with George W. Bush riffing on him. I mean, this guy was a major cultural icon and beloved by many. So rest in peace. Too bad. 76 is too young. All right, Tone, what do we got on the guest list here, buddy? That's not a Black Sabbath riff. No.
Those are not Black
Paulie
Sabbath
Mack used to
horns.
have a soundbite of a guy. He was a guy who just listened to music on YouTube and then gave his reviews. And he listened to Black Sabbath for the first time. He was an African-American gentleman. And he after he listened, he goes, man, I need more Black Sabbath, man. And it was one of Paulie's sound bites he played. One always made me laugh.
Yeah.
I need more Black Sabbath.
more Black Sabbath.
So, okay, what do you got, buddy?
All right, so coming up, we have a pregame today at 8:15 this morning. Get your coffee going. Giants pregame 8:15, so that means cooler content we're going to do early at 6:30. We got some Ozzy clips in there, too. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan spoke to the media. Brock Purdy also spoke. We'll have some of that for you guys. What did Young Tony ask today at 7:15? Mike Krukow at 7:30. The big hit at 7:50. And like I said, Justin Verlander on the mound going for his he's going for 1 for 17 today, guys. He's 0 for 16 as we speak.
I mean, they say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. He's got to be due. By the way, 209 says, WTF, Devers not playing first. No, Melvin said this last night after the game, that it's going to be a gradual transition, particularly with his legs and just getting out there. And so he said tomorrow he is going to DH. So
Plus, with Justin Verlander on the bump, you don't want to ruin Rafael Devers' 1,000 win percentage.
it's going to be a bit now. And 408 says, reading the Giants lineup with Crazy Train on in the background is baseball poetry.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so what we have to do is, because Cooler of Content is sponsored. Oh, yeah. Here
Just
we go.
running it back because somebody was loving this, so why not?
So we're going to have a little bit of Cooler content on the other side. It's usually our 8:30 hit, but because we have such an early show, we got to move everything up early next on The Sports Leader.
right, everyone. Chill.
This is the cooler
He's bitten a cooler
of content.
Cornucapacious of joyful news.
We might be on to something.
Yeah, baby!
Murph and Marcus is sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
Man, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne, which sucks, but it's great to hear Ozzy Black Sabbath rejoins. These are incredible. I think we need more of this. I need more Black Sabbath, man.
I've always said this, when people die, you almost appreciate their music or their product or whatever they did more. Why don't we just appreciate it before they pass?
We're going through Brian Wilson stuff like with the Beach Boys about a month ago, right? And all that. Young Tony, you want to inform the audience here, bud?
This is War Pigs, of course, and Luke's Wall?
Yeah, but we got to scoot it up a little bit to the famous, this is the long intro. See, Tony Iommi, by the way, here it is. You guys know this one. Anti-war song. Yeah. You know who covers this incredibly? You're not going to believe this. Cake.
Wow.
The band that plays Going the Distance and all that stuff. Cake does an amazing cover. Saw it at Sound Summit in 2013, but back when it was called Tam Jam. Yeah. Thank you for playing this, Tony. As I tell everybody, we are sponsored by Marin Health. With top physicians, surgeons, and clinicians right here in the North Bay, Marin Health puts you closer to your best health. World-class care, closer than you think. Matt Mayoko joining the afternoon show today with Copes and Depop at 4:50. Dirty work. There you go. Man, Ozzy, he did a hell of a voice. Yeah, they were considered like so, scary and dirty, but really what they were is he says they were just a hippie band. I mean, this is an anti-war song. So, all right, guys, thank you very much. 209 says T-Pain covered it, too, and it is epic. I've seen that out there. It's a true story. It's a great song, War Pigs. So, there you go. Okay, so cooler of content, heavy on Ozzy Osbourne. Then we're going to get to John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan at 6:50. But it starts with I told you guys he was a cultural icon, right? To the point where when the Osbournes reality show on MTV just broke every barrier, just like made people watch reality shows where you just stared at these people in their homes all day. But Ozzy made it so funny. He got invited to the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington, D.C. in 2002. Okay, 2002, President George W. Bush, who had his own on-the-mic moments himself, right? We had a lot of him on the board for years and years. But here he is introducing Ozzy Osbourne. Now, do you have a video on this? So if you have YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, you can see the video. Ozzy, if you're in your car, when he calls out Ozzy, it's this big ballroom, Ozzy stands up on his chair, which is obviously not really done at the White House Correspondents'. He doesn't care. He's like blowing kisses. So here you go.
Laura and I are honored to be here tonight. Thanks for the invitation. What a fantastic audience we have tonight. Washington power brokers, celebrities, Hollywood stars, Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy's standing up, arms raised, pumping his fists, big smile. Now he's going on the chair, standing on the chair now. And Bush is giving him a look. Ozzy's blowing kisses now to the crowd.
Okay, Ozzy.
Okay, Ozzy.
And Ozzy's looking around like, what? Did I do something wrong?
Might have been a mistake.
Look at Ozzy now.
Yeah.
Ozzy's like, oh.
The thing about Ozzy is he's made a lot of big hit recordings. Party with the Animals. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Facing Hell. Black Skies and Bloodbath in Paradise. Ozzy, Mom loves your stuff.
And Ozzy's howling and
look how
blowing
happy
kisses.
Ozzy is.
I gotta tell you, Bush nails that GW Bush. You gotta keep Ozzy, Mom loves your stuff. That's like the most GW Bush line of all time, dude.
What a scene. And how do you decide? I'm going to give Ozzy Osbourne a shout out first.
Because they knew
he was that big.
They knew it was be comedy too. Oh man. By the way, it just dawned on me, the start of the song Black Sabbath, which is the first song on their first album, is Ozzy going, "Oh no, please God help me." And it's an unbelievable way to start their career. And we used to play that after bad Giants losses. We want to bring it back, we can. Look up the song. It's called Black Sabbath from their first album, Black Sabbath. Dude, listen to this. Is that the start? Yeah, listen. He goes, "Oh no." Yeah, we used to do this after bad Giants losses. Yeah, dude. Boom, boom. This is how they opened their concert when I saw them. And he's like, "Please, God, help me." Check him out. It's incredible.
Oh, no.
Wait.
Please, God, help Justin Verlander.
Seriously, here it is. It's so haunting. Like these. That's it. We used to play that after, like, keep it because we can bring it back for these when the Giants lose 6 in a row. Dude, this is how the concert. So from that to the most lovable dad of all time in the suburbs, Ozzy in the Osbournes here. So again, we have video on this if you were looking at your YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. He became famous for many things. First of all, he swore like you've never seen anybody swear in your life. Number 2, he was just the bumbling, lovable dad, like trying to get the cat and trying to, yell at his kids and all this stuff. You're like, this is Ozzy Osbourne from, "Oh, no, please, God, help me." But he also became famous for loving Chipotle burritos. So here's a whole session of him and his burritos from MTV's show The Osbournes here.
I'm going to go eat a burrito.
I heard you're still eating your burritos 3 times a day.
Twice a day, I am burrito man.
So you can dance around.
Your father can't eat 1 burrito. He has to have 900 burritos. Where are you going?
I'm going to go turn my hair back so I don't eat it with my burrito. Hey! Get away from my fucking burrito.
We got to dump that. How'd that get thrown on TV?
Get away from my blanket burrito. Yelling at his cat, too. That is
classic
hilarious.
Ozzy.
Oh,
and
man.
that was more of the early days of Chipotle, to your point. Kind of put him on the map.
He kind of did, actually. By the way, I don't know about are you a Chipotle guy?
I like Chipotle when I'm trying to eat healthy,
quote,
if that makes sense. It's like the healthy Mexican food.
My kids freaking love it.
I got to say, though.
Young Tony, Chipotle? Yeah?
Yeah, I like it. Jack Loader loves it.
I guess there's something about the 24 and under crowd. I don't know.
It's got its time and place, but if I can go to an authentic taqueria, I'm usually always going to the taqueria.
But you're on, like, for example, my family just drove up and down I-5 for this water polo tournament, and they hit Chipotle both ways.
Quick little Chipotle.
There's one right at the foot of the grapevine.
I will say, I liked when Chipotle, back when Ozzy Osbourne was throwing down 2 to 3 a day, when their burritos were like $7, $8 when I was in high school. Dude, now they're like $15. I'm not paying more for a Chipotle burrito than I am for a taqueria burrito.
Dude, we woke up one day and everything in this country is gigantically expensive.
So
it's unbelievable. You can't even go to Chipotle.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I used to go to Chipotle with a $10 bill and walk out with a burrito. Nope, not so fast.
It's the golden age. The golden age.
Man.
Hey, here's Ozzy and Sharon at Wrigley Field. We'll close it out, and then we'll get to Lynch and Shanahan at 6:50. Now, I told you guys, we talked about what a cultural icon he is, from screaming, "Oh, no, God, please don't help me," to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, to...
Get away from my burrito.
Thank you, Tony. Get away from my blanket burrito.
Everybody goes, "I'm going to tie my hair back so it doesn't fall into my burrito." You just... How big of a cultural icon was he? Wrigley Field asked him to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at a Cubs game. This is how freaking big this guy is. So here's him and Sharon. If you've never heard this, this is all time. Take it away.
In a real crazy crowd.
Oops, sorry, re-rack there, buddy.
Complaining about that burrito.
I want to re-rack that tone because I think on the video.
Real crazy crowd starts singing with me. Are you ready? Are you ready? I can't hear you. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, and let's go out to the border. Let's go out to the river. Take me in, bring us in. I don't remember what I have to do. And run out of the out at the old ball game. Now let's get some runs. Come on, don't mess around. Let's get some runs.
That is all time, man. All
the
time.
confidence of an Ozzy also. Just steamrolling through it like he is not doing a single thing wrong.
Absolutely. 100%. And then bringing it home with the Harry Carey. Yeah, let's get some runs. He goes, don't mess around. Get some runs. Listen to this. God bless him. I don't know, man. Some guys have it.
One of a kind.
He had it, that's for sure. And oh, by the way, just, what do you want? The founder of heavy metal, too? Yeah, so there you go.
Let's go out to the ball
So
game.
there's your Cooler of Content tribute to the legendary and iconic and dearly missed Ozzy Osbourne. All right, back to the 49ers. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan. What was the biggest storyline from their talk? We'll be down there tomorrow bringing you 49ers players and 49ers news. But let's break down what they had to say next on The Sports Leader.
Time for traffic on The Sports Leader.
All right, let's talk about serious stuff. Life insurance is serious stuff. You got to take care of the big decisions in life. Don't delay. A lot of people delay it. I'll get it. No, do it now, and I'm going to hook you up with Ethos Life, the online easy way to get life insurance in as little as 10 minutes. So it's not too complicated. It's something you can do, all right? Ethos has rates you can afford. We'll throw out an example. A $500,000 term life policy for a 40-year-old male, starting at just $30 a month. That's $1 a day. Rates can increase the longer you wait. Don't put it off. So it's an online provider. Hooks you up with life insurance providers. You just answer a few health questions online. You can get up to $3 million in coverage. You do have to ask yourself, what if something happened to me? Who pays the mortgage? Who pays the kids' education? Forget the excuses. Check out Ethos Life, the better way to get life insurance. So for your free quote, visit ethos.com/leader. That's ethos.com/leader. Not available in all states. Rates vary. Hey, let's talk about Amici's East Coast Pizzeria and the Detroit-style pizzas we love so much. In addition to those famous thin-crust East Coast style, after more than a year of development and testing, Amici's now offering these Detroit-style pizzas at all 12 Bay Area locations. What is a new Detroit-style pizza? It's rectangular. You cut it into square slices. They have a thicker crust that is still light and airy in the middle. The best part is the outside of the dough is coated with a layer of provolone and Parmesan, and that caramelizes against the high-sided pans during cooking to create a crispy, cheesy edge all the way around the pizza. So there are some specialty options featured on the menu, but you can also build your own, and all your usual favorite toppings are also available to these new Detroit-style pizzas if you wish. As with all the other menu items, Detroit-style pizzas are available for dine-in, takeout, and delivery. So when you're ready to do your taste buds a monster favor and indulge in these crunchy, new, pillowy Detroit-style pizzas, Amici's delivers.
I just want some pizza.
time for KNBR's Opening Bell Report. Sponsored by Protect Your Assets with David Hollander. Concerned inflation will ruin your dream retirement? Learn more. Listen to David's show every Saturday morning or call 1-866-PROTECT. Listen to the sports leader anytime, anywhere. Download KNBR, the sports leader app. Murph and Marcus continue live from the Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpot Studios. Casino Matrix. Progressive jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. 1-800-GAMBLER.
I actually think, per Spotify, I think Paranoid by Black Sabbath is actually their most downloaded song. This one, I mean, you want to talk about like how many times before you just used generic rejoins. This was like kind of a generic rejoin used a lot, but it's the epic Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Yes, if you're just tuning in, we've done a lot of tributes to Ozzy Osbourne, who we lost at the age of 76 yesterday. And man, the tributes wide-ranging from around the world. So thank you, Ozzy, for the incredible music and the amazing laughs, too, from your TV show, The Osbournes. You live forever, buddy, the Prince of Darkness. All right. Shine that darkness over to the light of Santa Clara, where we will be tomorrow. Marcus, you ready?
Oh, Murph.
By the way, I mean, sorry to interrupt, but there's a joke there, right? Like, oh, finally, Murph and Marcus are going to broadcast from their studio.
After all the rumors about us broadcasting from Santa Clara, well, we can update the people. We will be broadcasting tomorrow in Santa Clara. And Murph, take a look at me. You see the haircut?
Yeah.
I already went to go see my guy, Little Romo. I got the fresh cut. I'm ready to get some fresh takes on the 49ers
I was thinking
tomorrow.
you could have double dipped and done it after our visit, since he's not far from it.
Not at all. But then I would show up looking like Tom Hanks in Castaway Thursday morning doing the actual interviews.
You could have done a Casey Schmidt shaved head.
I could have gone with the
self
self-shave like our friend Casey Schmidt, but looking at those results, I decided to go to a professional.
Somebody texted, and I forgot the area code, but he said, it looks like the kind you get when they throw you in prison and they shave it real quick.
Oh, come on. What happened to Casey over the weekend?
Hey, he had a big old honking tank
Yeah,
last
he did.
night. We already paid tribute to it. So, yeah, we'll be down there. We don't have our guest. Do we have our guest list yet, Curly? Do we know we're getting? Tony?
No.
Do we know? Okay, well, we're getting somebody.
Mystery guest.
Somebody good.
Mm-hmm. I heard he plays for the 49ers.
So yesterday, the big takeaway, so a couple things for me, and I will ask you. For me, number one, Ricky Pearsall. I don't know why I'm so fixated on this. Maybe I got to get over it. Let's just get over it. But I'd like him on the field. This receiver situation, and one of the big takeaways yesterday was the Brandon Ayuk update, where Lynch said, in fact, why don't we go to Cut F right now, Tony, about there's no, remember at one point we were talking early season return? No. John Lynch put that aside. Here's John Lynch yesterday on Brandon Ayuk.
With respect to BA, he did a lot to his knee, and I would tell you that he's in really good place considering all that. Now, what does that mean in terms of a timeline and all that? We're continuing to assess and get information. He did a lot of his rehab away from here, and so, I think when you get these guys back, there's all kinds of objective measurements that you want to do. And so he'll be working on his rehab and with our guys, and I think we're encouraged on where he's at. But not anywhere close to having a set-in-stone timeline.
Okay, not anywhere close to having a set-in-stone timeline. So now we have something to work with, which is don't look for Brandon Ayuk anytime soon.
No, I would not expect him to be out there week 1, week 2, possibly not even weeks 3 or 4. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not down there at training camp. We'll be there tomorrow. We'll hit up the practice field. We'll see if he's doing any side work by himself. But we'll give you all the updates that we know. But it sounds like it's going to have to be Jawan Jennings or Ricky Pearsall as wide receiver 1 to start the season.
And the Niners took on and getting back to Ayuk, I was listening to somebody on the way in. I think it was Ryan Clark or somebody from ESPN, Lewis Riddick, one of those guys who said, guys, this is a significant knee injury, and we can't really expect him to come back and actually be revving at a high level, too. So this receiver situation, heck, they signed a receiver yesterday, Equanimous St. Brown, Amon-Ra's brother. He's a good player. He's not Amon-Ra, but, just more signs that they are short on receivers. Ayuk out.
Yeah.
Pearsall out. Kyle Shanahan spoke to this. He goes, you need guys in camp. Otherwise, you're going to start running out of guys for Purdy to throw to.
Yeah, you just need guys to be healthy. You need healthy bodies. You need targets. And that's one thing you have to consider when you are talking about the health of Brandon Ayuk. In this day and age, it just seems like, oh, he tore his ACL. No problem.
Yeah.
He'll be back out there in 6 months. I don't know. But it's not just the ACL. It's the ACL and the MCL. It's a pretty serious knee injury. So I don't have an exact timeline, and it sounds like the 49ers do not either.
So staying in the receiver room, one of the other big takeaways from yesterday is Juwan Jennings. We've been wondering ever since Schefter broke the news that he wants a new contract, and if he doesn't want one, he wants to be traded. We're like, well, jeez, there goes our happy summer, right? Here we go. So now today is their first practice. So we will hear from all the beat guys when the practice begins, who's on the practice field. But yesterday, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, Cut M, Tony, were basically saying, looks like Juwan Jennings will be here. Actually, why don't we start with Cut C, John Lynch. Cut C asked about, is Jennings here?
Juwan's reported took his physical yesterday. We anticipate, I won't speak for Juwan, but had a good visit with him. Anticipate him being out there. You guys know our feelings on JJ. He embodies what we think a Niner's all about. Plays the right way. We love him, and I think all that stuff, we're not going to get into the contract talks and all that. That takes care of itself, but, we love him, and he's here.
Okay, so, again, John Lynch has done this before. We've done this with Bosa. We've done this with Ayuk. It begins the dance of him saying, you know how we feel. We love him. He's here. Now, is it going to be a hold in where he shows up and doesn't want to get on the practice field? That's what we're going to find out today.
Yeah.
And that was so distracting last year with Ayuk. I mean, it was such a terrible summer last year. Every day at training camp sucked last year. And right up and down, including, too, when he signed and then wore different colored shorts.
Yeah, he needed to take his pants off on the practice field.
Pants on the ground. When you hear pants on the ground, you'll listen to KNBR AM and KNBR FM San Francisco, the sports leader, a Cumulus media station. Well, Brock stuck up for his guy, and he knows it because if Brock Purdy drops back to pass, yeah, he's got McCaffrey. Yeah, he's got Kittle. Those are two pretty good options. But when he looks around and there's no Pearsall and there's no Ayuk, he needs to see Juwan Jennings. So here he is sticking up for JJ here.
I mean, it's extremely important. Obviously, love JJ and what he brings to our team and to myself as a quarterback. Obviously, we've had so much success together. And anytime you see something like this going on, as a player, it's like, man, let's figure out something so we can get back out on the field and we can continue to do what we've done. So obviously, I hope everything gets handled and everything, but would love my guy to be out there on the field with me.
Yeah, so he wants him. He's looking around, where's 15? Where's my guy? In the meantime, it's Jacob Cowing and Jordan Watkins.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Murph. It's not only Brock Purdy who wants him. Everybody wants him. Kyle Shanahan wants him out there. George Kittle wants him out there. Christian McCaffrey wants him out there as a blocker. Like, what he brings to this team is really irreplaceable. Like, you don't find wide receivers who buy into the blocking scheme like Juwan Jennings will do. And then we know how much of a dog he is on third and short situations. He's a big part of this offense, which is why I think he deserves a little bit of an increase in that salary.
Right. It was brought up by David Lombardi that Colton McKivitz is in the same situation. He has 1 year left on his deal, and he plays a critical position too, and he can start doing this too. So the Niners, it's a sticky situation.
I don't want to see a hold-in from Colton McKivitz.
But he's got leverage.
He's got some leverage.
Here's an Eric.
Why they should probably invest more in that offensive line.
Well, I know, and they just refuse to.
They refuse.
It's an incredible refusal. Well, offensive line, no, it's not important.
Nah, we don't
not
need
important.
It. Mm-hmm.
Eric Branch question from the Chronicle, Cut M, Tony, about they follow up again on Jennings. And here's where Kyle says he has not formally requested a trade.
To clarify, you're not expecting a hold-in situation as he formally requested a trade.
I saw the same tweets you guys saw, but I'll just stick to what I said. Juwan's here. We expect him to be out on the field.
Yeah. So he hasn't formally asked for a trade. Yeah.
Okay. What does that mean? He hasn't formally asked for a trade.
Has he informally done?
So it's it's a slightly sticky situation. We'll see today.
Yeah.
We'll see today.
And as you mentioned, Murph, we've gone through this song and dance with multiple players before, with your Nick Bosas, with your Deebo Samuels, with your Brandon Ayuk. So the 49ers have experience in these type of situations. But I also thought it was interesting when Kyle Shanahan was asked yesterday about all the drama that the 49ers have to deal with. And he said, look, it's not drama, it's business. It's a part of the business. This happens outside of football and other marketplaces. If you think that you're worth more than what you're currently getting paid, you're going to ask for a raise. So it's part of the business of football, and it's the business that nobody wants to deal with, but it's still, at the end of the day, a business, and everybody wants more money.
And I'm driving in this morning. All I hear about is the Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons. That's drama. That's business. And the Cincinnati Bengals and Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson. That's business. That's drama. And any other one. Another guy, one of the other takeaways I took from their opening press conference was, I think on two different occasions, Kyle Shanahan made reference to 2018, 2019. When Fred Warner and George Kittle were sliding on in and the Niners were taking on a new look. And it was almost like, wait a minute, so is this like a whole Control-Alt-Delete reset, rebuild? I mean, in some ways, yeah. They drafted 5 defensive guys with their first 5 picks. And I guess I got to come to grips with, who are these guys going to be this year? We're so conditioned to them contending for a Super Bowl every year that I feel like, okay, flush 2024, back to contending for a Super Bowl in 2025. Maybe not. Maybe it is a rebuild year. Maybe it was either, again, Riddick, I forget who was on. One of the guys who was on ESPN saying he goes, people need to look at the Niners as a rebuild and that the West got better. Arizona's people like Arizona this year. They doubled their win total last year, and they're coming back. And the Rams signed your guy, Palo Alto High's Devontae Adams.
EPA's own.
I mean, the Seahawks with Darnold, I don't know, maybe.
Cooper Kupp's up there, too.
Cooper Kupp is up there, yeah.
So they had some weapons. Lost DK and Geno, obviously.
So he's talking about all these new, do you say, how many rookies might start? Like 6?
Well, Kyle said yesterday that there could be 6 to 8 new starters on the team in general. And a lot of those guys would either be rookies or second-year guys that we saw step up last year.
So, I mean, I got to trying to wrap my head around, can these guys go in and compete right away for an NFC West title? I mean, there's no rule that says they can't. We talk about the 1981 team with 3 rookie DBs and they won a Super Bowl, but it's a significant change. It's a sea change. They finally have paid Purdy. They had to release all those guys, and here we go into a new look.
Like, to me, this is the number one story going into the season, is the 49ers defense and whether or not they can get back to the style of defense that they were playing with Robert Saleh. And they're off to a good start because they've brought back Robert Saleh. And we've seen from a leadership standpoint what the defense has turned into under Steve Wilks when we were arguing about whether or not Steve Wilks would leave the booth and come down to the sideline. And then last year, I just really never fully committed to Nick Sorensen and Brandon Staley calling your operations on defense. That was not successful. We saw the red zone numbers. We saw the rush defense numbers. Hell, we just saw bad defensive numbers in general. So Robert Saleh came in, and they have revamped this entire defense. That defensive line is going to look extremely different. Yeah, you still got Nick Bosa. You got Fred Warner. You got Deommodore Lenoir. Those are your lynch points of your defense. But surrounding him, there's no more Trevarius Ward. There's no more Dre Greenlaw. There's no more Talanoa Hufanga. So it's going to have to be these first rounders, these second rounders. Hell, you might see rounds 1 through 5 from this draft contribute this season with guys like Nick Martin competing against D. Winters for that second spot next to Fred Warner, with a guy like Upton Stout maybe taking over that nickel corner role while you have Renardo Green, a second-year guy on the outside. Mustafa dealing with that injury. He seems like he's your future at the safety position with Jair Brown. So there's a lot of youth on this defense, but it's how Gus Bradley and Robert Saleh are going to be able to mold this defense moving forward.
They couldn't stop anybody last year. The run was unbelievable. The run defense was tragic last year. So, like you mentioned, there's all these new guys. They do have a veteran, Bryce Huff, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner. Those guys are still there. Obviously, Lenoir is now considered sort of a veteran.
Demo's a dog.
But here's my Kyle Shanahan on expectations for the Robert Saleh 2025 defense.
One, I think we got a lot of good vets who have established themselves in their league. I mean, I can go over numbers, but there's not many people in this league better than Fred and better than Nick. Love what Demo's done here these last few years and the vet he's become. But yeah, there's a chance we could have 6 rookies or 6 new guys starting. There's a chance we could have 8. We'll see how it plays out. And anytime you say that, that's different. That is a different team. That is a different side of the ball. And so that does take some time. That's why I'm so excited to get started with camp so we can start working that we got a really good head start in OTAs. When you have a young defense like that, you think of 6 out of our first 9 games are on the road. I know that'll be a huge challenge for them. But I think we have the capability with some of the veterans that we've had here, some of the new guys that we've added, some of these vets we've brought in to create some competition with these new guys, that as long as we keep getting better throughout the year, I think we have a chance to turn it into a real good defense.
6 to 8 new guys on defense. I mean, that's a big net. And essentially 6 of the first 9 on the road. So, I mean, we did our win-loss total. We haven't even mentioned this whole segment, too, by the way. The fact is they do have, as Tim Ryan would like to remind you, against all this adversity with Juwan Jennings and 6 to 8 new starters on defense, they do have a last-place schedule. How does he not have that? Thank you.
I have a reminder. I'm going to add it to the board, but I've just been juggling a lot of other things.
You do a lot, buddy. That's why you're sponsored by Marin Health with top physicians, surgeons, and clinicians right here in the North Bay. Marin Health puts you closer to your best health, world-class care, closer than you think.
Before the season, I will add that to the board. Don't worry.
Okay. How about before the day?
Yeah.
How's that for an
How
idea?
about before the season?
How about
we
before
get
the segment?
6 to 8 new sound pieces on the soundboard.
How about when Tony doesn't go to that sound quickly, I say, "Oh no, God, please don't help me."
Tony, help me.
Don't worry about it, buddy. Don't worry about it. Let's move on to Shanahan on youth.
Yeah, real quick though, I do want to say though, on the topic of having potentially 6 to 8 roster spots open for competition, I do like the fact that there will be competition. Because you know this, when you have a lot of veterans on the team, when you've had these deep playoff runs, when you've had these Super Bowl hangovers and losses that you have to deal with, some guys get fat and happy. But when you have young blood, when it inspires some new energy, some new competition, maybe this is the lifeline or maybe the fuel that the 49ers need injected in them.
Yeah, and this is what Shanahan talks about in Cut L as in Larry here, Tony, on, or pardon me, Cut N as in Nancy on the youth.
I thought it was awesome during OTAs. I mean, I think you've heard us talk pretty positively throughout the offseason. I think the irritation of the year before had a lot to do with that. But I also think the added in so many young guys who, when they came in, it's not just adding. Young guys don't add the right type of energy and everything if they're not the right type of guys. But what we saw throughout OTAs after the draft, those guys acted like pros. They worked. They were energetic. They communicated. They asked tons of questions. And I think that helped motivate some of the veterans, like, all right, we want to do this. We want to definitely fix what we did last year, but we know we can't do that with the help of all these young guys and new guys who came. And I think they showed us in OTAs that we're all very excited that they're going to give us a chance.
Well, that's it. You're counting on all of these guys to be stellar human beings, stellar leaders, stellar guys who develop on the field, guys who come together as a group, guys who believe in the mission, guys who are all just everything you want in your championship sports team means you got to hit on every single one of them. It's like we talked about when you used an opener in baseball and you would have to rely on 6 guys to pitch well that night. I mean, the Niners are relying on hitting on Michael Williams, Alfred Collins, C.J. West, Upton Stout, Nick Martin. Those are the 5 who dared. Like, those are the guys. But 707 comes in with a salty text. With the Niners' track record of early round draft picks, why would you expect a team relying on so many rookies to be a top 10 team?
Well, I would say last year we saw the success of Dominic Pooney, who stepped in and arguably almost played like an all-pro guard. Like, there's big hopes for Dominic Pooney. Renardo Green is going to be replacing Charvarius Ward. Like, the 49ers have already taken the steps to draft replacements for guys that they lost in free agency. So, yeah, you can say, oh, yeah, they've missed on Trey Lance and a couple other first-rounders. How many times are we sitting here talking about 5th rounders? How many times are we talking about 6th rounders and 7th rounders like George Kittle and Fred Warner and Deommodore Lenoir and all the late round draft picks that they have had success with, Murph? To me, that's the key, and that would be my response to questioning the, faith, the confidence of bringing in rookies. But at the end of the day, they still have to go out there and prove it.
Man, oh, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and just one last thing, too. Go. I mean, before that texter interrupted my riff that I had locked and ready to go, you were talking about getting these guys to buy into the 49er culture. The 49er standard, some would say. Well, it sounds like that's a mission for our guy, Captain Cush, to go down and talk to the 49er rookies.
It's like being a Niner, man. It's like just knowing that your stock and your blood and your heart and your soul are f***ing champions.
I gotta say,
high level. That's
an incredible audio cut. We talk about audio like we have guests that come on the show who aren't on landlines and are in bad connection. In the interview, let's be honest, this segment sucks. You guys can't hear. We all get frustrated. We try to sometimes just fight through it and pretend it's not a bad connection and all that. Then we get a guy like Dan Schulman who calls in from Toronto the other night, and it just sounds rich and deep. And I got to say, on the Dan Schulman side is Alex Kushner, a.k.a. Captain Kush, who was the captain of my Winter League 9-hole golf league, who used to send us inspirational videos. And this was right before our big semifinal match. He sent this out to the team. I was like, this might be sound for the show. Oh, yeah, it's sound for the show. Yeah.
It's like being a Niner, man. It's like just knowing that your stock and your blood and your heart and your soul are fucking champions.
By the way, we lost the championship match. I lost in 10 holes.
Damn, even after that speech, huh?
So, it's a great sound. But yes, it's exactly what we're talking
That's
about.
it. They have to buy into the standard, Murph.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, that's it. And we're going to find out. And we'll be down there tomorrow to see if they can find a Niner down there. All right. What did young Tony ask us today? It's a short show, guys. 8:15 Giant pregame, 9:15 first pitch. So what did young Tony ask? And then Mike Krukow at 7:30 on The Sports Leader.
Blood and your heart and your soul are fucking champions.
Time for traffic on The Sports Leader.
All right, bright and early on a Wednesday morning, Steve Moskowitz, our tax attorney, our good friend, is on the line. You want to help Steve? What if people didn't get their ERC check, Steve? What do they do?
They call it. There's three big areas in ERC. One, you haven't received your check. You know, some people have been waiting for years. There's three different ways to hurry them up. We want to hurry them up for you. We want to get you your money. And you're entitled to more than you think you are because besides the principal, they also pay you interest, and with as long as you've been waiting, it's a big chunk of interest. Or the IRS sent you a letter, you don't qualify, no ERC for you. We have to appeal that because there's a lot of cases where they're using AI. They don't even know if you qualify or not. They're just disallowing you, or you're being audited. The bottom line is anything to do with ERC. You haven't received your check, you've been told you don't qualify, or you're being audited, call us. We want to take care of you. We have a free consultation. We'll explain everything to you. And if you want us to, we'll go ahead and represent you.
Well, that's it. I'd do it. It's tax attorney Steve Moskowitz. He's my tax attorney, and he should be your tax attorney. Give him a call at 888-TAX-DEAL, 888-TAX-DEAL, or go online to moskowitzllp.com. All right, El Cerrito Honda, that's the place to go. That's where I got my 2025 Honda CR-V Hybrid, which I love because it's a great car. I would highly recommend the 2025 CR-V Hybrid for all y'all. And the color, the navy blue color, the selection that they have so much selection at El Cerrito Honda. Sharif doesn't like to brag. He runs the show over there. He says, not about me, it's about the family, but he runs a great shop over there, El Cerrito Honda, with great savings and selection. Huge lot. Where is El Cerrito Honda? I got news for you. It's in El Cerrito, California. Very easy to find. Located right off of 80 on San Pablo Avenue at 11755 San Pablo Avenue in El Cerrito. You can start looking online to see if they have the car you want at elcerritohonda.com. Spoiler alert, they will have the car you want. elcerritohonda.com. And when you do walk on the lot, tell them that I sent you. Said I was listening to The Sports Leader and Murph told me to go. It's a true story. El Cerrito Honda, more than just a car dealership. We're family.
And now it's time for the Protect Your Assets Business and Technology Report with me, David Hollander.
Now, it's time for producer Tony Farias to ask Murph and Marcus 3 questions of the day.
I saw Murph and young Tony right before the kickoff, and that was awesome.
But I'll track him down tomorrow, and I will see if he has some dirt on young Tony.
This is What Did Young Tony Ask Today?
If John Lynch is name checking him, and if Dwayne Kuiper's checking him, then he must be special. Oh, man. Now, this is like Ozzy Osbourne tribute crashing into What Did Young Tony Ask Today. This is a beautiful song.
Stay tuned for one of the questions.
Okay. Well, you don't always get Ozzy going ballad, but this is like a beautiful, with a little R&B piano lick, going through changes. Beautiful song. And Ozzy, will miss you forever, buddy. What gifts he gave us. Not just incredible music, but big laughs, too, on the Osbourne's reality show. The Murph and Marcus Show. Check it out. Changes by Black Sabbath here. The Murph and Marcus Show is sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. There's a nice little, I like the, you ducked out. All right, go
Back
ahead.
to the game show
Stay
music.
tuned.
All right, Tony, what do you got? Give us the rules.
All right, we got a few rules. I got 4 questions for you guys. After I read the question, you're each going to have 60 seconds to respond.
And guess what, folks? These 60 seconds of Waterboy audio pleasure are now sponsored by Redwood Credit Union. Whether you're dreaming of a new home, planning your children's future, or growing your business, Redwood Credit Union is a financial partner that feels like home. Learn more at redwoodcu.org. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Another satisfying 60 seconds from Marcus.
Yes, it was.
Yes,
very satisfying.
If your time runs out, you're going to hear this bell. We got a little bit of time here, so we got to get going. Text line, YouTube chat. Everybody can join the conversation. Let's get it going.
Let's do it, Coach.
Let's start with the big news. Yesterday, Rafael Devers finally started a game over at first base, and the Giants snapped their 6-game losing streak. I'm going to get right to the question, and it's our question of the day. Why is now the right time for Rafi to play first?
Well, why is now? Because if you're Bob Melvin, if you lost 6 in a row, why the blank not? I mean, I'm stealing Marcus's answer because he said it in the first segment, but change the energy, change the mojo. And what a story, by the way, for this guy to have never played first base in his entire life, his entire career, for him telling the Red Sox he wouldn't play first base, and then Bob Melvin saying, hey, we just lost 6 in a row. It's 95 degrees with 90% humidity. Go grab the first baseman's mitt, though, by the way, that he ordered on his second day in San Francisco just to drive the knife further into Boston. So why the blank not? There's the old phrase, why not us? That's what you do when you're a big underdog in a sporting event. So I got to give Bob Melvin, who we criticized heavily yesterday, credit for having the cojones to change the energy and change the mojo, change the look, and to see what you got going into August and September. So I just stole Marcus's answer. Thank you. You're welcome.
You did, Murph, but I love the fact that you're using the word mojo because it feels like Austin Powers, Rafael Devers, has lost his mojo, and maybe Bob Melvin is Dr. Evil. And he said, look, I got Austin Powers mojo. I got Rafael Devers mojo, and the mojo is the mitt because after the game, he said he feels more comfortable being out on the field instead of sitting in the dugout and going down to the batting cages, thinking about every at-bat. So I'm with you. It's about getting Rafael Devers his mojo back, but it's also about the impact of how it impacts the rest of the team. Getting Wilmer Flores off his feet and getting him back into the DH role. Guess what? It was his first time DHing yesterday since like June 15th. It's also the first time he's had a home run since Rafael Devers has been on the roster. His numbers have dropped off since moving to first base. So if you can get him off his feet and also maybe throw in a couple DH opportunities for a guy like Elliot Ramos to get him out of left field, this opens up your roster flexibility. So it's a great sign moving forward for Rafael Devers and the Giants because last time I checked, Rafael Devers has a 1,000 winning percentage as a first baseman in Major League Baseball.
As seen on MLB Network. They use Marcus's tweet.
How about that? Your boys on MLB
Yeah,
Network
Marcus
this
brought
morning.
up the really, really good point there that we need to emphasize that Devers himself said, and we need to play the sound at 7:50, specifically said, this makes me feel better about the game. And you saw him barrel up balls. You also see him strike out against a position player in the ninth inning.
I will say, too, it seemed like he was running better yesterday. Seemed like he was loose and maybe his body
Javi
was moving a
Lopez
little bit
actually
more.
had that comment. When he challenged Acuna, bad idea jeans, and beat it, Javi goes, my theory is that are his legs a little looser now being out there? So, yeah, all good, buddy. That's question number 1 in the books.
Question number 1 in the books. Question number 2. Shout out EB here in the YouTube chat. That's EB. Eric Berry is a friend of high school. It's not my friend in the YouTube chat. That's just his username, EB here. Quite odd.
Okay.
But a good question he asked yesterday. Who leaves the Bay Area first? Bob Melvin or Jonathan Kuminga?
Oh, see, now this was not on my bingo card for questions that young Tony would be asking. Who leaves the Bay Area first? Bay Area Bob or Johnny Kuminga? Well, looks like we're rolling one up and saying goodbye to Jonathan Kuminga.
You smoke a doobie, play a little
Kuminga. Now, I'm not saying a sign and trade is going to happen anytime soon. It seems like this could drag out all the way to the NBA trade deadline next January or February, whenever the hell that is. But we just saw Buster Posey give that contract extension to Bob Melvin. So that, to me, implies that Bob Melvin will be the skipper for the remainder of this season and next season. I don't expect Jonathan Kuminga to end the season as a Warrior next year. So I will say Johnny Kuminga is leaving town before Bay Area Bob.
It was a good answer, Marcus, and I'm going to probably just pirate it, too, because it's a good question. It's kind of a fun question. It kind of startled me for a second, but once the startle wore off, Buster Posey, as we're learning, is not a rash decision guy other than trading for Rafael Devers. But he waited 2.5 months before he made a move on Lamont Wade, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas this Kuminga thing, man, the storm clouds are just so obvious. And we hear the story that he doesn't want to be here. Spears reiterated. And we keep hearing that if it doesn't happen this fall, it will happen on January 15th because of the CBA and how they can get full return on his contract as opposed to 50% return on his contract. So all you hear with Kuminga are scenarios in which he leaves. And all you hear with Bob Melvin are scenarios in which he stays. So it's a fun question. It kind of makes you chuckle for a second. But the realistic answer is that Jonathan Kuminga will leave the Bay Area before Bob Melvin.
Pretty interesting question. I know. That's what I want to ask you guys. All right, number 3 on the list. Hayden Birdsong's lack of command was the big story on Tuesday morning, and both of you called it a classic case of the YIPS. Dude, we may or may not be playing a little golf today, so I'm not even going to bring up that word, not even going to say it. So for you personally, what past experience do you have with the YIPS?
Well, here we are. We say we're not going to talk about it, and now we're going to talk about it? Oh, dude. So and we're going to play 9 holes of golf today as a family, and I'm going to be talking about the thing that rhymes with chips, tips, and sips. Yeah, I told you guys yesterday. I'll repeat the story if you missed it. I have them for batting practice in baseball. I can't throw consistent strikes. And, dude, it started happening. I don't know what happened. Just one day, you get on the mound and you start throwing to a kid behind an L screen, and then you start drilling kids. It's like, it's not a good thing.
Watch out, Johnny!
It's not a good thing at all. And then, dude, I was like, what's going on? And I started getting inside my own head and my own body. I'm like, dude, just like you're playing catch. Just And then you go, and then you're like, should I move my elbow? Should I drop my elbow? Should I raise my shoulder? And then you're like, dude, and I eventually told all the guys I coach with, shout out all the great coaches I coached with through the years, Coach Steve, Coach Clark, Coach Lou, everybody on and on, Coach Pete, Coach Jim, Coach Mike, everybody. I just told them, you guys have BP. I can't do it. So I'll hit fungos in the outfield. I'll go do soft toss. You guys have BP.
All right, Murph. I'm with you, and I've heard a lot about the yips, but I can't point to one specific situation where I've believed that I've had the yips. Like, I've had bad outings and stuff like that, but I never blamed it on the yips. And I'm the only person on this show saying the word yips. And I think that's the problem. If you're afraid to even say the word yips, then you're already in your own head. Like, that's the thing.
Stay tuned at 9:30 today.
Yeah,
all
stay
right?
tuned. We'll see how it turns out on the course. Maybe we all have the yips. Maybe we play the best round of our life. But that's the thing. You got to think positive thoughts. As a pitcher, they would teach you, clear your mind and think about the location and the pitch that you're going to make. Outside of that, it's out of your control. Control the controllables, and you can control positive thoughts in your mind. If you don't mind, it don't matter. Pressure is a privilege. Yips are for suckers. Yips are for people who don't have the mental fortitude to work through it.
Have you met your partner?
Yeah.
All right. So no, that's good. By the way, you know where it's most commonly used is putting. That's where it's most commonly used. That's where it's most frequently. In fact, Johnny Miller famously won the Pebble Beach tournament one year with the yips. He wound up having to putt with his eyes closed to try to fight the yips.
There's a guy on tour that does that, like, to this day. I can't remember. He wears the sun hat. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, but, dude, the yips is most commonly associated with putting. Yeah. So we'll see if anybody has the yips today on the putting green. All right,
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Finally, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. The Prince of Darkness was quite the character in many ways. I can speak. What is your favorite Ozzy story or favorite song from his long career?
Oh, so this is tough. I don't know if I have a specific story. We talked earlier today about the urban myth of him biting the head off the bat on stage. So to me, that was always the coolest story. But I just want to say, like, as a kid that was growing up around the Y2K generation, the Osbournes being put on MTV really blew my mind because it was a different style of reality TV. And to see a family that, I got to say, kind of reminded me of my own family. We've talked about this, Murph. My dad would cuss like a sailor. So to see Ozzy Osbourne dropping F-bombs and S-bombs because he's got to go pick up his dog's S, to me was hilarious. And it started to think to myself, like, wow, there's other families that cuss as much as my families. So that relatability to the Osbournes is probably my favorite story, Murph.
Very, very good. I will say this. I was lucky enough to see him. So I'm with you on everything. The TV show was great, and I didn't ever think I would see Ozzy because, spoiler alert, I did not grow up a Black Sabbath guy, all right, dude? I was listening to freaking Rupert Holmes singing about pina coladas, all right? So the fortunate day that I got to go see Black Sabbath, God, I wish I had the year on that. 2018, 2019, they reformed, they came to Oakland. I got to see the great man live. I got to see, they opened with the song Black Sabbath with, "Oh no, please God help me." And the crowd was going crazy. And I'm like, I'm watching Ozzy Osbourne in Oakland screaming, "God, please help me." I'm like, this is so freaking iconic. And then as every song ends, and you're like, that was terrifying and dark and deep, you'd be like, "You effers are beautiful." And I'd be like, dude, this guy's riffing. Every song, he goes, "Oh, you beautiful effers, and I love you effers. You're so beautiful, you effers." And I was like, I'm getting Ozzy love and Ozzy F-bombs. This is the moment. I was so blessed to see it. That's my favorite Ozzy story. And you know what, Ozzy? You're a beautiful effort too, buddy. And thank you for all the F-bombs and the songs and the laughs.
Hey! Get away from my burrito.
2016. I just looked it up. 2016.
Thank you.
Oakland.
Yeah, okay. God, time flies. Jeez.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Time flies.
My God, what is this? Yeah, it was awesome. And do you have the set list? Do you have the set list?
I don't, but I trust you. Black Sabbath is what they open with.
Yeah, you beautiful effers. All of you, you're beautiful. All right, we were beautiful too. Thank you, Tony. That was good. What did young Tony ask today? All right, Mike Krukow is next on The Sports Leader.
There's no question we've got the best in the booth. That's why Murph and Marcus catch up with Kruk right now. On KNBR 104.5 FM and 680 AM.
All right, short show today, 8:15 pregame. Justin Verlander and the Giants in warm Atlanta trying to get that getaway game win the series and build on last night's big 9-0 win. We'll talk about it with Mike Krukow, the debut of Devers at first base. Landon Roop's fantastic performance. Hey, the Murph and Marcus show is sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Hey, morning, Mike.
A lot better today than I was yesterday. Yesterday, I was a little worried about things. And, when you get into a long losing streak, especially this time of year, it just, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, it's impossible to win a game. They were finding new ways to lose a game. And they were looking so bad losing games that you're thinking, well, they're never going to win another game. And then all of a sudden, yesterday, it looked so easy. And poof, and all of a sudden, that black cloud that hung over the clubhouse is gone. It's gone. It's somewhere else. And it's magic. So I feel a lot better today. That's all.
Yeah, we all do. Yesterday was a tough day. They had such a bad defensive game. They looked really disconnected and then they turn around and they drop a 9-0 bomb on the Braves. I know the easy question is to ask about Rafael Devers, so I'm going to ask you about Landon Roop instead. And that is, wow. Marcus and I were saying before the show ended yesterday, as bad as it was, we're like, maybe the guy you want to give the ball to is Landon Roop. He's establishing himself, Mike, as a competitor. That's what I'm seeing, even more so than the curveball. And your thoughts, him getting the ball, what he did last night. I wouldn't call it a full stop job because it was 5 innings, but it was pretty damn close to a stop job.
Well, he was also in humidity and heat. And I know he's from North Carolina, but if you're not in that climate and you move out to the West Coast, I mean, you lose that ability to adapt to humidity very quickly. So it kind of got to him yesterday, but I think it was a big league stop job because of how desperate they were going into that game. They needed it. And, you just go right back and regroup about Landon Roop. Remember we saw him last year, comes out of the bullpen and he had a nice sinker and he had a big curveball and he threw the curveball 55% of the time. 2-pitch guy. Now he toyed around with a cutter and he toyed around with a changeup, but really didn't know how to use it. And then, he wins the job out of camp. I mean, there was, Harrison and Roop and Birdsong and he wins the job. And, now all of a sudden the education begins. For the most part, he started off and he was kind of a 2-pitch guy. And at times when he said, well, he throws too many curveballs, which he did. And now all of a sudden, he's learned new pitches, but he's learned how to use them. I mean, it helps that he's sitting here watching opposite Logan Webb as to how he's using the cutter up and the four-seam fastball up. It all makes sense to him. Now all of a sudden, you can see hitters who are tall hitters, who are low ball hitters. Now you have a weapon to get them out. You have pitches you can go at their hands with or pitch above the belt. And then there was that start against L.A. where he was on a pretty good roll, and then he gets into that start against L.A., and he kind of got intimidated by the reputation of that lineup, and he was nibbling. And it was his worst start of the year. And when he came out of that start, he said, that ain't happening anymore. I'm never doing that again. I'm going at him. Screw this. I'm not nibbling. I'm either going to find out if I can or if I can't. And he's been a different animal ever since. He's got that backbone that is it just stiffens up. And that's what the guys behind him can smell. When he gets that attitude that I'm going to put an end to this. And you're looking at a guy who's as mentally tough as Logan Webb. And remember when he first came up. And you have another guy who's right in his footsteps. So you're talking about an incredible 1-2 punch with those two guys. A lot of similarity in their style, but it plays. You wouldn't even have a problem if you're Bob Melvin throwing those guys back to back because a lot of times they won't do that with similar stuff. They'll throw a sinker, then they'll throw a high ball lefty, and then they'll go back to a sinker. But these two guys are evolving so quickly that you could throw them back to back. That's how good they are.
I'll take the easy question, Mike. What were your thoughts on seeing Rafael Devers at first base for the first time?
I loved it. I mean, first of all, you're not going to forget how to catch a ground ball. Now, he's going to have to learn the dance of first base. There's different footwork there. There's different things you have to respond to. And you're going to have to give him time because his instinct is to third base. It's not to first base. So, you'll see him go a little too far to his right at times, covering too much ground at times. Because remember, what's the one thing you learn at third base? You take everything to your left, so you venture your way out. Well, it's kind of hard to turn that aggressiveness off in the infield. So he's going to make a few mistakes to his right, but he was happy. He doesn't like being on a bench, being a DH. You know, you're taking at bat, now you got to sit around and twiddle your thumbs for 2 innings and go sit there and get in the cage. You know what's more depressing than hitting in a cage during a game when everybody else is playing? Nothing.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like it. So he got back in the flow of the game, and I just think it's great because he's a player. He's a two-way guy, and he's got pride about that.
Yeah, we've talked so much about his mental. We can't ever measure what's gone on in his head in terms of being, tossed out of Boston, his home, since he was a teenager, bad blood, leaving a place where he was a World Series champ. And that had to be why he wasn't hitting for the first month. But now you see the swing is starting to heat up. I think he's got multiple hits. I think he's got 5 hits in the last 3 games, something like that. Anyway, so would you expect, first of all, I don't know how often you would expect him to play at first base, but you expect this to link towards more happier and productive at-bats?
Yeah, I really do. I don't even know if he's going to be in the lineup today. I haven't seen it.
He's a DH today.
Okay, and the reason for that, he's going to be sore today. I mean, you go down and you get in the squat to catch a ground ball when you haven't been doing it, and you do it for 9 innings, you're going to be sore the next day. So right now, I think that he's going to determine when he goes out there. I just know he wants to go out there, and that's a significant thing. And you know what? From Bob Melvin's perspective, keep him happy. You're seeing how he's swinging the bat. Happy players produce, especially great happy players.
Mike, we're going to see Rafael Devers back at DH today, but yesterday we saw Wilmer Flores at DH for the first time since June 15th, and he left the ballpark, hit a home run for the first time since June 7th. So having the extra flexibility for the entire roster is going to be a benefit with Rafael Devers at first, but how much does that help a guy like Wilmer Flores get off his feet and maybe get that bat back in action?
Well, I think it's a lot. I mean, we're talking about how Devers likes to be an everyday player, but there are other guys that can handle the task of being a designated hitter a little bit easier. And I think if you look at the demeanor of Wilmer, I mean, he's about as low key as anybody on that bench. He doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low. He knows how to get ready. It doesn't take him a long time. He engages in the game. He pitches the game in his mind. He looks how pitchers are pitching his teammates. He listens to what's being said in that dugout. I mean, for some guys it's easier. Bonds was a terrible DH, I thought. His mind didn't engage. It would drift off. When he was a player, it never left the field. And a lot of guys are like that. I mean, it's just, it depends on the personality. But I think the personality of Wilmer Flores is that he likes doing it.
Mike, Casey Schmidt left the yard yesterday. He went 1 for 4. He struck out twice. I don't know if you continue to see, are we looking at this guy? Are we going to, we're putting him in ink at second base for the foreseeable future? Is that what you're seeing? Or maybe not?
I don't see him moving out of second base for a while. I mean, there's 2 young hitters that I want to see right now, him and Matos. And I like their at-bats, and there's threat. And there's no intimidation. They're not up there grinding and gripping the bat a little bit harder, a little bit tighter when there's runners in scoring position. They're letting the bat head fly. And I used to fear pitching against guys who were hitting 172, but they had threat because they just run into one and can change a whole game. And both Matos and Schmidt are that way right now. I think they're better average-wise than what they've shown, both of them. But I expect them to get more at-bats whenever they can, especially at second base for Schmidt.
Mike, on Monday we talked about Elliot Ramos and some of his defensive miscues. He went on later that night and made a few more on Monday night against Atlanta. But last night he ran through a Matt Williams stop sign, and it seemed like the Giants coaching staff had a few words for him in the dugout after that. What was your breakdown of that situation?
Well, if you're a coach, I mean, you have to rely on a guy responding to you, because if he doesn't, then you have to take that into consideration if you're going to give him a green light or a red light. I mean, as soon as he runs through a light, that changes everything in the mind of a third base coach. That's how reactive they are to their players, and you can't have that. That baseball coach, I mean, he's got to have final say-so on what you do. Now, it's inevitable sometimes you get caught and you go through it, but it has to be addressed. And the other thing, too, at the big league level is if you make a mistake on the field, you're going to get confronted immediately. especially on a base running play, because that's a mental mistake. You know, if you are in the outfield, and we've seen Ramos in this last week, and he's having a tough spell out there. He's taking some bad routes, and he's undercut line drives. You know, they're selling over his head, and he's driving the balls, and he's getting glove on, and he can't make the play. So, I mean, those things are grinding him. One thing you need to know about Elliot Ramos is he does not leave the game at the ballpark. He takes it home, and he sits there and he dwells on it, and it does not ever leave his mind. So this has been really, really, really tough on him. And so I think so much that he's thinking about his offense that he's not concentrating on his defense. So therein lies the suggestion from a coach. You need to pay attention to what you're doing. Your concentration has to be on the base pass when you're there. You think about the field when you're out there. You think about the bat when you're at the plate. You have to be able to let your mind separate and concentrate on the thing you're doing, the matter at hand. And I think that's where he's going to improve his situation.
Yeah, Ramos back out there again today. And then, Mike, we haven't talked to you since Monday when Hayden Birdsong had that start. He has now been sent to AAA Sacramento. It's a big deal because he's a big part of the Giants' future. I don't want to say like Steve Blass or Rick Ankiel. It looked like he had no idea where the ball was going. It was tough. It was hard to watch for everyone. I'm sure more so for him. Did you have a thought watching him pitch and then the move down to Sacramento and how to clear? It almost looked like it was as much mental as physical.
Well, if you remember our conversation on Monday, we talked about the anticipation of him throwing. And, he had some time off between his last start, which enables you to get to throw a couple bullpens and concentrate on the mechanics. Because right now, his mechanics are just way screwed up. So he needs to get out of the pressure of the big leagues. Go down and, you need to get right. You need to get your mechanics right. There's flaws in his mechanics. Like I said on Monday, you can't have 3 and 4 foot misses. In the big leagues, 3 and 4 inch misses are big misses. So missing by 3 and 4 feet is unacceptable. So you have to go back down there and get cleaned up. He's a very good athlete. He will get cleaned up. The other thing too is when you have a high 3/4 release like he has, there's a lot of tilt in your delivery, meaning you're throwing from a very high position. And you're throwing tilt. So you have a high release and you throw a ball down around the knees. In the eye of the hitter, he sees a quarter of the ball. Now, that may not make a lot of sense to you, but when you're in the batter's box, that's exactly what happens. A ball that has downward plane from a high release like Birdsong has, that's one of the most effective things traditionally that scouts have always looked for. If you're a guy with a shorter arm release and you've got a flatter delivery, when you see the ball at the belt, you see the whole half of the ball. So it's a real advantage when you can have that high 3/4 release like he has. He's at times almost over the top. But when you lose your mechanics, there's play and there's push in his mechanics right now. And I'll bet he has maybe even up to like a 4 to 6 inch variance as to where he's releasing the ball, which explains the inconsistency in his ability to control the ball and the big misses of 3 to 4 feet. Well, that can all get taken care of in a couple of mechanical clicks. They just have to find the right ones. And the fact about him is he's very athletic. He's got really good feet, and those guys, they repair quickly. He just needs to get his head out of the pressure zone, which is the big leagues, go down to where there's less pressure in the minor leagues, get your stuff and your act together, and he'll be right back.
Okay, well, we'll follow that because definitely they need him for sure. We're out of time because we have an early pregame, but just did want to shout out to the Giants fans who are listening, Sean Jelly, Joey Lucchese, and Carson Seymour's 4 shutout innings. And we can address that perhaps on Friday to see how today's game goes. Because we got an early one, Mike, 9:15 first pitch, 8:15 pregame. So I know you got to go get ready to watch. So we'll let you go. Enjoy the day game, and we'll talk to you Friday.
At a bit.
Mike Krukow every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the UMA guest line. And let's do that for our big hit to get you ready. Everything Mike talked about, Raffy at first base, Landon Roop's stop job, Hayden Birdsong's mechanics, and then Justin Verlander on the mound today. All stuff to get into, but definitely Raffy's comments at first base next on the Sports Leader.
Now, from the O'Donnell Financial Group Sports Desk. Learn more at odfigroup.com. O'Donnell Financial Group, because planning is a process, not a product. It's time for the Young Tony and John Joe question of the day.
Let's talk about it. Rafael Devers played first base last night, finally, and the question today is why is now the right time? Why is the timing so important? You can join the conversation in the YouTube chat now.
Oh, we love talking about Marin Health in the North Bay, world-class health care. Without going into too many details, we were there recently and we're taken care of quite nicely. In fact, I complimented our nurse on her incredible bedside manner. So it's not just the closest medical care, it's the best. With a cardiology team that delivers treatment twice as fast as the national average, a world-class maternity care center with doctors and midwives available 24/7, an accomplished orthopedic team to get you back on the trail, and a partnership with UCSF that expands our world-class capabilities. It's all right here to get you closer to being at your best. Marin Health, world-class care, closer than you think. Thursday morning, Marcus. This is a fun one. Our summer trip to Santa Clara. 49ers training camp gets underway. We are on the ground talking to 49ers players. Well, who knows? Maybe, fuck it. I almost said Brock Purdy. Fuck me. Fuck me. All right. God bless it. Well, guess what? This is not a good idea. I just won't say that because I didn't know I was on YouTube. All right, 3, 2, 1. Thursday morning, Marcus. We look forward to this every year, our summer trip to Santa Clara. Man, 49er training camp is underway. We will have players coming at you from 49ers headquarters, Murph and Marcus Football Talk.
First trip down to Levi Stadium this season and our first chance to check out the 49er draft class. Michael Williams, Alfred Collins, Nick Martin, Upton Stout. We'll see them all and break them down for you live from Levi Stadium.
Hey everybody, Brian Murphy here for my good friends at El Cerrito Honda. It's the end of summer sales event at El Cerrito Honda. Savings, selection, and service you will love. Check out the range of Honda hybrids with the Civic, Accord, and CR-V hybrid, or you can go EV with the Prologue before the federal tax rebate goes away. Visit El Cerrito Honda right off I-80 on San Pablo Avenue or online at elcerritohonda.com. El Cerrito Honda, more than just a car dealership, we're family.
This is The Big Hit.
Sponsored by Benjamin Moore Paints. Experience the Benjamin Moore retail difference at their independently owned, authorized retailers today or at benjaminmoore.com.
On KNBR 104.5 FM and 680 AM, the sports leader. Murph and Marcus is sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
Tonight's the night, Rafi Devers. You told us yesterday you kind of had a timeline. The timeline was quick, huh? He's out at first base.
He is. He's still got some soreness going on, but he was just like, I need to get out there. So
when he was rounding third last night, I was going, I hope this doesn't force our hand the next day. But no, he wants to get out there. He's been a good defender at the other corner. It's going to take some time to learn the position. It's not that easy. But today's day we had circle, and we look forward to seeing him out there.
There it is, the Bob Melvin Show. I love how young Tony will get into a Bo Mel show. And it's an underrated thing, man, the Bo Mel Show. You get some good stuff. As are Dave Fleming's Around the Parks, by the way. We have a couple of those coming. In fact, FP Santangelo said his hit with is either Carson Seymour or Joey Lucchese. With Joey Lucchese was great. Also, he had one with, was it Carson Seymour? No, Matt Gage. We have all that stuff in Cooler of Content. By the way, one digression before we get in and do a big welcome. We have to remind me to get to this on a slow day. Carson Seymour's wife is the daughter of Jason Sudeikis' high school basketball coach, who is the inspiration for Ted Lasso.
Oh.
So Carson Seymour's father-in-law is the inspiration for Ted Lasso.
That's one hell of a connection. How the hell did you find that out?
People do their digging.
The internet.
Do their digging. Yeah.
Undefeated.
So anyway, all right, the big hit, everybody, and it's a short Murph and Marcus show. 8:15 Giants pregame, 9:15 first pitch, and the story is easy. Rafael Devers going to first base was gigantic. I was quite surprised when I saw it. I saw it on a Shayna Rubin tweet. Everybody's thought right away was, wait a minute, you've just lost 6 in a row, and now you're doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the mad genius, that is Bob Melvin, after he gets barbecued yesterday on KNBR, and we're calling for his head and everything. He's like, watch what I do now. I'm going to go put Devers at first base.
He's like, you saw how bad my defense was last night? I'm going to put Rafael Devers at first base for the first time in his career.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, exactly. Hold my beer.
And guess what? It worked because Devers looked happy and loose, and actually his swings were real good, and the team in general looked happy and loose, whether it was because they're throwing to Devers or whether it was just because they were due to break out. I don't know if one thing led to the other, but we do know that Devers was happier. He did lace a double. By the way, when he tried to challenge Acuna on that, I was like, and he got away with it. Also, he roped an RBI single when Elliot Ramos ran through a stop sign.
Straight through that stop
Was
sign.
Elliot just trying to hook up his buddy with an RBI? Was that what he was trying to do?
It was safe at home, so it was the right call, right?
Yeah, it's just like Acuna scoring from first. But obviously, this is a gigantic moment in the Giants season. It really is. Because, when they traded for him, we're like, where's he going to play? He can't play third. You got Matt Chapman there.
You traded for Devers. He didn't even have a first baseman.
Yeah.
He had the order the day he got traded to San Francisco.
He revealed to the writers that he ordered it on day 2. Now, this is so important for Boston because, they're so... Now, the Red Sox are happy. They won 10 in a row
they're
before
happy
the break.
for now. They're happy for now.
They lost again last night. They're 1-4 since the break. I do want to notice.
Yeah, they're 0-1 in the Rafael Devers first base era. Giants are undefeated. That's all I know.
Marcus's stat reached MLB Network, or tweet reached MLB Network.
How about that, dude? One of my tweets got on MLB Network's the leadoff spot this morning. I'm back on the leadoff spot.
We're back, baby.
Yeah, we're back.
So this was the key moment after the game. Erwin Higueros and Rafi is dressing up. He's putting on his gold chain as he and this is one of those cases where he hears the question in English and starts to answer in Spanish to Erwin Higueros. So is it Justice De Los Santos asking?
I think so.
I think it's Justice. If it's not, let's give Justice some run anyway.
Shout out to Justice.
I like Justice.
Yeah, so do I.
Yes, indeed it is. Yeah. Shout out Justice, friend of the program.
So he's asking Rafi this question. This is a key answer here. Check it out.
Success in Boston as a primary DH, but are you the type that thinks your offense is better when you are playing in the field, that you feel more engaged in the game?
Sí, pienso eso porque me mantiene activo durante el juego, no tengo que estar pensando tanto en mi bateo. A veces me siento muy incómodo cuando pienso mucho en mi bateo, no soy ese tipo de persona que le gusta batear tanto en el case, y creo que cuando juego defensa me siento más cómodo.
Definitely. It keeps me active. It keeps my head out of just thinking about the next at bat. I'm the kind of player that likes to be active, likes to be on the field. I'd rather be on the field than be in the cage hitting all the time and just thinking about the next at bat.
There it is. That's pretty much all you need to know from last night's game. And so this is a big development. We keep saying, when's he going to hit? When's he going to hit? We're meeting all our new people here in the new building, and I met a really nice gentleman. He's a sales manager at KBLX. And he says to me flat out, he goes, well, I'm an avid Red Sox fan. I said, oh, really? I said, are you from the East Coast? He's from Massachusetts. I said, so Devers? And he said, I haven't really been paying attention because I'm following my Red Sox. He goes, is he hitting? I said, no, he's not. This was 2 days ago. I go, no, he's not hitting. And he said, he grabbed his coffee and he's walking out of the break room. He goes, oh, he'll hit. He does nothing but hit. And he nodded his head. He goes, he'll hit. And I was like, well, when? When's he going to hit? And last night, And actually, these last few days.
Yeah, I would say post All-Star break, he's been starting to swing it better. Hell, even the couple swings he had that weekend against the Dodgers where he squares it up 106 miles per hour, but James Outman is able to get back and make the play, Murph. But I was joking earlier, Rafael Devers without his mitt is kind of like Austin Powers without his mojo. And he needs his mojo to be back to where Rafael Devers wants to be. And I also think this is a huge part of why he was so upset about losing his spot at third base over in Boston, because this is a guy for the first 8 to 9 years of his career was out there every day at third base. And look, you can get into the analytics and you can do the Boston breakdown and say Alex Bregman is a better defensive third baseman than Rafael Devers. But that's besides the point. It's the fact that that was his position. It's the fact that they told him, hey, we're going to take your glove away. And then as soon as we have an injury, now we want you to pop over to first base. So he's had a lot of time already this season sitting in multiple dugouts as a DH and maybe overthinking a little bit that has led to some of the struggles. And he just looked more comfortable. Hell, he looked happier yesterday.
Yeah, he did look happier.
Being out in the field.
No, there was some smiles and there were some chuckles and as you said, there were some hugs after the game. So what did Bob Melvin have to say about his big move, about getting him playing at first base? Cut F, Tony, about still getting acclimated.
You got to move around. You got to read the card. You got pitch comm going on. You got to go hold guys on first base. He didn't get it much as far as he didn't get any ground balls, but, got some plays over there. So just every game that he's over there, he gets more acclimated.
Yeah, and then he went on to say that he's not going to play him there every day, certainly not yet. And in fact, today he's not. And Mike Krukow said, believe it or not, you'll be sore getting into that. If you haven't played and you got to get into that crouch and use those muscles you haven't used in a while, you might have just a little soreness, and he needs his legs to hit.
Yeah, and he was running around a lot yesterday.
He'll be DHing. That's right. He will. What more on what this does for the lineup now? Because now you can get Wilmer Flores in at DH, where he has thrived more than Devers.
Yeah, look at the first half of the season where Wilmer Flores was the team leader in RBIs, Murph. It's because they weren't using his legs in the field. And Bob Melvin talked about this a lot even before Rafael Devers was traded over here. But since Dever has been a Giant, Wilmer Flores really hasn't had the opportunity to DH. And this was his first time back in the DH spot since June 15th. It's also the first time he's had a home run since June 7th. So maybe it seems like a little bit of an instant reaction. Instantly, he's back in the DH spot. Instantly, he's hitting home runs. But I do think there's going to be a long-term effect to the legs of a Wilmer Flores and overall the flexibility with your lineup moving forward.
Here's Bob Melvin on that very thing. Cut H, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, Devers is going to DH tomorrow. We'll kick Flo off, and Don will play first tomorrow. But Flo, his numbers DHing, has been really good, and hits another home run tonight. So it's good to be able to get him off his feet.
Yeah, and then he goes on to talk about that first home run. It was the first time since June 7, right? Yeah. Today's July 23rd. Mm-hmm. Wow, month and a half.
The last home run was against Elder when he pitched that 8-inning game, only allowed the one bomb to Wilmer. They said that on the broadcast yesterday, yeah.
And then when was the CJ West, Wilmer's the GOAT?
Mr. West. That was against the A's, the 3-home run night.
Let's hear Bob Melvin talking about Wilmer's first home run in over a month.
Yeah, I look at everybody goes through tough periods, but he's meant so much to the team over the course of the season, the big hits and big homers and everything. I think as hard as he works and as much as he's been playing in the field, to be able to hit 3-run homer today feels good.
Yeah, for sure. And at that point, the Giants were ahead, I think 5 or 6 to nothing, and it made it 8 or 9 to nothing. So it was just a gigantic. You just don't see the Giants. I haven't gone through their game log. I can't think of too many games they've won by 9 runs. I mean, it's got to be fewer than 5,
There's
right?
not so many. And Murph, tell me if this is a crazy hot take or not, because I said it yesterday in the bullpen, and I kind of had to duck for tomatoes as everybody was saying, the season's over. We're waving the white flag with a winning record in the middle of July. I was like, the Giants arguably have the hottest offense that they've had all season.
Yeah.
I know it sucks because they came out of the All-Star break on a 4-game losing streak, but they've had double-digit hits in 4 of the last 5 games, Murph.
Yeah, well, there's no question. I mean, I see it. I'm watching it, and you can kind of see. And maybe it's the warm weather as opposed. I was actually thinking about this.
Yeah,
I was thinking like hitting in the warm weather, and I was like, God, they're going to come home Friday night, and it's going to be so cold and windy, and they might literally be bummed out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also we're seeing Willie Adames warmer than he's been all year, and that goes for the full stretch of July where he has a OPS over 1,000. We're seeing Devers finally start to click a little bit. If we just get all these pieces going at the right time, I think the overreaction to saying the season was over a couple of days ago was a little blown out of proportion.
I think, for sure. What we said was the next 7 to 10 days will be huge.
Yes.
And that was day 1. So now the next 6 to 9 days will be huge. Actually, 6 to 8 because it's July 31st. So that's 1 down and 1 to go. Meaning today is important. I mean, they're 1-4 on this road trip. It's Verlander against Spencer Strider. It's a day game after a night game. Now the Braves are a team that's kind of, I don't want to say checked out because Monday night they batted. They took advantage of a bunch of. But last night they scored no runs. Even against Sean Jelly, Carson Seymour, and Joey Lucchesi.
Dude,
who's coming on?
Joey's throwing the ball nicely.
He is throwing the ball nicely. So tonight's kind of big, but yeah, one at a time. So I wouldn't say we were bagging the season totally. What we were saying is, how's this thing going to go before July 31st? And plus, we don't know how Buster Handles traded others. We've never been through this before. By the way, you're listening to KNBR AM and KNBR FM San Francisco, the sports leader, a Cumulus media station. I can't believe I'm saying this after watching baseball in San Francisco forever and seeing guys like Willie McCovey and Will Clark and Kevin Mitchell and Jeff Kent and Barry Bonds and Ellis Burks. All these guys hit home runs for years and years and years, but I'm like starting to dread cold night games in San Francisco. So Friday night, then I'm like, well, Saturday, but Saturday's a night game too. And then Sundays they moved it to 4:05, which sometimes it can be worse at twilight. Which cold in the wind can be worse at around sunset than it can be in the evening.
Yeah. And I want to bring up an off-air conversation we were having yesterday. You mentioned that this is one of the coldest summers that San Francisco has had in a while.
Oh, no, there's all these meteorological tweets out there. It's not since 1982 has San Francisco had an entire July with like only one day over 70 degrees. This is literally statistically the coldest winter summer in 40-plus years here. So
yeah, and I can feel it at the ballpark every night.
I know. So I don't want to put it in their heads, but I did wonder if, hitting in that sweaty, warm weather was like feeling good for them.
All right, well, let me play devil's advocate because we also saw how warm and hot it was up in Toronto with the roof down and how it affected guys like Robbie Ray, who was sweating through his T-shirt, and also hearing Landon Roop's comments about pitching last night in Atlanta. Now, Landon Roop had a good outing, but since we've seen post-All-Star break the Giants pitcher struggle, it's obviously going to be a benefit for the pitchers to be back in their home
Yeah,
park.
but Giants did hit in Toronto.
They did.
Remember, they got the 11 hits Friday night. Right, yeah. But the starters, for sure.
Yeah, Robbie Ray was sweating.
It's a big day today to get that win, to get back on the horse for Verlander. If they can take this one now, because now you're 53-40. By the way, everybody lost across the board. Yes, I'm watching the standings. Padres lost to the Marlins. Ha. The Reds lost. Dude, the Cardinals lost to the Rockies last night.
Ouch.
So the Giants picked up a game on everybody. So they're back to 2.5 back in the wild card, which seems very reasonable. 3 back in the lost column, which you don't love. By the way, I will be putting the mojo on those Padres Monday night. I'll be at Petco Monday night.
Murph will be down at Petco.
Look for me when Petco's popping. I think the game's sold out. Monday night against the Mets, it's sold out.
They sell every game.
Dude, it's popping down there. And by the way, just a little, just to share my itinerary for you for no reason other than because it's baseball. We're also hitting Angels Mariners on Sunday down in Anaheim.
Look at you double dipping.
Yeah, double dipping. The kids want to see Cal Raleigh. He's like a legit starter.
They want to see the big dumper.
They want to see who went yard last night.
Yeah, that's what he does, Murph. Now, in between going to a couple of baseball games, are you going to have a chance to go a little deep sea fishing with Bruce Bochy?
Yeah, shoot me a text.
Hopefully. I'm waiting for that text.
Yeah, still waiting for that text.
Oh, man. So anyway.
Shoot me a text.
Well, Verlander today, that's obviously going to be a huge focus. Spencer Strider's a tough customer, but the Giants are getting it out. And by the way, we'll get you guys that lineup just in case you missed it there. Which would you guys send that to? Which thread did you send that to?
It's got to be in the
KNBR, there it is right here.
Content,
KNBR Morning Show. So Elliot Ramos leads off in left field against Strider. Devers is hitting second at DH. Adames is hitting third at short. Wow, what a month he's having. Yeah. Matt Chapman's hitting fourth. I thought that was a home run last night.
Yeah, so tell me what was going on because I was driving back from San Jose, so I heard it on the radio.
Did they call it a home run?
And even FP was like, how's that not a home run?
It looked like it clearly went over the fence and hit a seat and bounced back. So I was like, well, this is a tater. And then they came and said it wasn't a tater, and then we just kind of moved on. I'm like, wait a minute, what? And then, thankfully, Wilmer Flores, the next play, hit a sack fly, and so no harm, no foul, but still.
It hit on top of the yellow line. It hit off something behind the yellow line, so how's that not a home run?
I was very confused. Matt Chapman hitting fourth. Mike Yastrzemski's back in the 5-hole. Now, that's a guy, he sat out yesterday. He's hitting 238 with a 703.
Bob Melvin going righty matchup yesterday. Luis Matos and not playing yet.
It's interesting.
That tells you something.
I know. I wonder if he has his nicked up or something. Casey Schmidt with the bad shaved head is hitting 7th.
Someone's got to give that guy a fade.
Dom Smith, who's back, baby, hitting 8th at first base. And Pat Bailey, who's actually swinging it better, guys. He's up over 208. No joke. I haven't looked at his numbers for July. We'll do that, and then we'll duck out. because he is swinging it better. You got to give him credit.
I'm just happy to see him over the Mendoza line.
Yeah.
I mean, we spent weeks talking about him as a 180 hitter, but you're right. You got to climb that average up at some point, and we know how valuable he is defensively.
Yeah, although he did have a whiff on a curveball last night that allowed Jurickson Profar to reach. Yeah, he's up to 208 now, guys, but just to give you guys a little stat, his 5 OPS is 568. Ouch. He's hitting 255 in July.
I'll take that.
I mean, that's a big difference.
Will take that.
Do you want to know what he hit? Do you want to know what he hit in June, bro?
I don't really.
Actually, he hit 234 in June.
Oh,
it was May when he hit. Well, in May he hit 213. What's going on? Doesn't make sense.
Sounds like Patty's.
April 169 and March 100. Anyway, point is he's heating up a little bit. He's playing. He's catching a day game after a night game.
How about that?
All right, here's the deal. We have an early show today. We have an 8:15 pregame, so we are doing it next on the Sports Leader.
Now, from the O'Donnell Financial Group Sports Desk. Learn more at odfigroup.com. O'Donnell Financial Group, because planning is a process, not a product. It's time for the Young Tony and John Joe question of the day.
Yes, indeed. Rafael Devers played first base last night for the first time in his career, and today's question is, why is now the right time? You can join the conversation in the YouTube chat now.
All right, you get into a car accident. That sucks. That's why we're going to tell you what to do. You're going to call Ted Ray Vaughn, the Giant Lawyer. It's going to save you a lot of time and money right now. We tell everyone the same thing. Call Ted. 415-888-1045. Because who you call first could make or break your case. Ted is not a billboard lawyer who never calls you back. He's a local, just like you. He's a fighter, like the orange and black, and he knows how to win. So, Carlos from the Mission got T-boned on game day. Insurance lowballed him. Ted steps in and hits it out of the park. Policy limits, no delays, no stress. So if you're in the Bay, do not wait. Call 415-888-1045. Again, that's 415-888-1045. Fast, free, confidential. You've got one shot to get this right. Make sure the guy fighting for you swings like a giant. Call 415-888-1045. Once again, 415-888-1045.
Listen to the sports leader anytime, anywhere. Download KNBR, the sports leader app. Murph and Marcus continue live from the Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpot Studios. Casino Matrix. Progressive jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. 1-800-GAMBLER.
One more Ozzy rejoin here. A little Sweet Leaf from Black Sabbath here. Young Tony, man, thank you. It's a short show today. We're going to be doing Giants pregame in 4 minutes, but we squeezed in a fair amount. We got a Paranoid, we got a War Pigs, we got a Changes, we got a Crazy Train, we got a Iron Man. We heard it all. So, and we also played some fun stuff in the COC Cooler of Content. So, in fact, that might be what Young Tony learned today. In fact, you want to do it? Let's do it right now. Let's do it.
Murph and Marcus want to know, what did young Tony learn today?
Well, so the joke is he's very, very young and innocent.
Hey, I know that now, okay?
All right, it's sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Young Tone, you're getting bombarded with Ozzy Osbourne stuff. Now, you were aware of Ozzy.
Yes.
And you were aware of his reality show, The Osbournes, and
the Celebrity Apprentice appearance from Sharon.
That was your
Sharon.
Sharon. But you had never seen Sharon and Ozzy do Take Me Out to the Ball Game at Wrigley Field.
No, and I think you guys sent this over this morning. Someone sent it over from the show. I had not seen the Cubs Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Here we have
this
it
is
queued
the
up.
all-time great. So if you have YouTube, do we go on video? YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter on video. If you're in your car, just enjoy Ozzy singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game on the north side of Chicago.
Real crazy crowd starts singing with me. Are you ready? Are you ready? I can't hear you. Are you ready? Come on. 1, 2, 3, and let's go out to the ball game. Let's go out to the river. Take me in and bring us into. I don't remember what I have to do. And run out of the garden. 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Yeah, let's get some runs. Come on, don't mess around. Let's get some runs.
What a legendary performance.
Oh, man.
What a sweetheart he is, too. Don't mess around. Let's get some runs.
I love that he has the cadence of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, but doesn't know the words at all.
God, I love the backstory on that. Like, he knew he was doing it. He knew the song. It's a pretty simple song. Could have just been all those years of drug use affected him at that moment. Or he didn't even bother. He just said, just give me the mic and I'll take it from here.
It's an Ozzy Osbourne freestyle. At one point, I think, yeah, give me some peanuts and beer.
Oh, man. It was incredible. It's all time. I mean, do you think anybody there was upset with that?
Absolutely not. And they show on the video broadcast, too, that all the players from the dugouts turn around just to witness the Prince of Darkness.
It's Dodgers and Cubs, yeah. Oh, man. Hey, just want to get a couple of his bandmates just wrote the most beautiful things. Geezer Butler, legendary Geezer Butler, said, goodbye, dear friend. Thanks for all those years. We had some great fun. 4 kids from Aston. Who'd have thought? So glad we got to do it one last time. I love you. And then, of course, Tony Iommi, the legend, who said, I just can't believe it. My dear friend Ozzy has passed away. It's just such heartbreaking news. I can't really find the words. There won't ever be another like him. So just from his Black Sabbath bandmates.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the deal. Big game today. Rafael Devers at DH after a successful first base stint. Justin Verlander on the mound. And we just found out tomorrow's trip to Santa Clara will feature live interviews with Brock Purdy and George Kittle. Perfect way to end the show. Giants baseball coming up next on The Sports Leader.
Let's get some runs.
Welcome to Atlanta, Georgia for the final game of this 3-game set between the Giants and the Braves. After a dominating 9-0 win last night, the Giants will try to take the series today behind right-hander Justin Verlander, still seeking his first win. The Braves, they're going to send out 4-7 Spencer Strider. I'm FP Santangelo along with Joe Ritzo. It's morning baseball on the radio. Time to wake and rake. The Giants pregame show starts right now.
Hey, everybody, it is July 23rd in Giants history. We're going to go back to a really fun year, 2014. Spoiler alert, it ends in a World Series championship. Because of things like this, on 7/23/14, Hunter Pence, the former Philly, is in Philadelphia trying to help the Giants win a ball game. Well, Madison Bumgarner was trying too. He started on the mound. They're taking on A.J. Burnett and the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park. Good pitcher's duel. Bumgarner goes 8 innings of scoreless ball. Problem is, so did A.J. Burnett. Wow. Bumgarner struck out 6, walked nobody, gave up only 5 hits. Burnett had 6 strikeouts, 4 hits, had 4 walks. Giants couldn't cash it in. What's going to happen? Top of the ninth, Phillies make a move. They bring in their closer, Jonathan Papelbon, and he plunks leadoff batter Michael Morris. All right, here we go. Instant rally. Gregor Blanco comes into pinch run. Bruce Bochy making moves. Papelbon then strikes out the next 2 batters, but Gregor Blanco steals second. And that opens up first base, where the Phillies decide they want to put Brandon Crawford with an intentional walk because they want to get to Hector Sanchez. What an insult. Well, Hector Sanchez grinds out a walk. So the bases are loaded, and here he is. He used to be an Astro. He used to be a Philly. We still love him here in San Francisco. We hear him on broadcasts. Hunter Pence coming through.
There they go. The pitch. Swing, and it's driven down the right field line. Slicing. Fair ball! And it bounces over to the sidewall. Blanco scores. Crawford scores. Here comes Sanchez. And they all score! And the throw goes wildly away from the catcher and into the stands. And Hunter Pence will go to third. And the Giants have a 3-0 lead.
John Miller on the call. The kind of clutch swing of the bat that defined the 2014 season. Even though the Phillies score in the bottom of the ninth, the Giants get a sweet win, 3-1 in Philly. Bumgarner, great pitching. Hunter Pence, clutch swing of the bat on July 23rd, 2014. And this has been Brian Murphy with this date in Giants history. All right, we love it. We get to do this so rarely. The talk back with the Murph and Marcus show going all the way out to Atlanta where Joe Ritzo, who's doing awesome play-by-play. Joe, I've been in the car a lot. You and FP are killing it. It sounds so good. So thank you for those great broadcasts. And good morning from San Francisco and Daly City, where I hesitate to tell you this, but it's cool and foggy and comfortable. And Joe, I'm guessing that's not Atlanta, huh? Good morning.
Hey, morning, Joe.
Good morning, guys. I appreciate the kind words. The last thing you want to see on a getaway day at the end of an East Coast road trip is the tarp on the field. And they had it on until about a half hour ago, and it actually is still drizzling right now. But good news, they took it off. We had some stronger rain earlier this morning, and while you never know this part of the country with the rain and the thunderstorms that can pop up out of nowhere, we're very hopeful that we'll get this in without any interruptions. But getaway day and a big one for the Giants, I think.
Yeah, time to start looking at those Dopplers, those big blobs. So what do those big blobs say? Are we hopeful?
I think we are. We're hopeful. When they take the tarp off, an hour, 15 minutes before first pitch, that's usually a pretty good sign. And the grounds crew is out there right now. They're getting the field ready, and the pitchers will appear here in a few minutes. So we're still on schedule for an on-time first pitch, and hopefully no issues going forward.
Yeah, Joe, we know that Giants fans don't want to see the tarp on the field, but they did enjoy seeing Rafael Devers with a first baseman's mitt for the first time yesterday. What are your thoughts on seeing Rafi over at first base?
Yeah, how about that? He wasn't really tested over there. There wasn't a ground ball hit to him. He didn't have to make one of those flips to a pitcher covering. So it was kind of a nice first game for him to just ease into it. It seemed like everybody was having fun with it. I mean, every ground ball and an infielder, as routine as it may have been, Devers was reacting and smiling and having fun with Willie Adames and Matt Chapman. And I know it had been planned for a while that yesterday was going to be the day for Devers' first game at first base. But I think it kind of worked out perfectly given how frustrating Monday night went and the series in Toronto and the longest losing streak of the year. It kind of needed something else to just, mix it up. And in the course of a long season and the grind of 162 games, to have something to kind of look forward to. And I think it loosened everybody up on the infield, in the dugout, in the clubhouse. And not that was the reason why the Giants won yesterday 9-0, but it was a nice added bonus. And I thought the comments were pretty telling after the game from Rafi that he said it loosens him up. He feels like he's more a part of the game. He wants to do more of it. And while he's not at first base today, understandably so, the day game after the night game, they want to ease him back in. He's still dealing with the bad back. It does sound like we're going to see him quite a bit over at first. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a couple of starts over there this weekend back at home.
There are certain signposts in a season, where there's a Lamont Wade move or the Devers trade or now this. That's a signpost in the season. We shall figure out where they go from here and continue talking to Joe Ritzo, who's in Atlanta at Truist Park for Giants baseball next on The Sports Leader. All right, we are back with our pregame show, Giants pregame. Murph and Marcus talking to Joe Ritzo, the pride of Palo Alto High School. You are a Pally Viking, aren't you?
I am. Palo Alto High School, class of 2002.
Ooh, and I'm loving you guys in your broadcast. You talking about teaching wiffle ball to your kids, but I have to ask the most important question, and that is that I heard you guys say that the Braves' new stadium is so nice that they're catering meals for the broadcasters, that a gentleman walked in and said, "What would you gentlemen like tonight?" And you're like, "Wait, what? We get to order?" They're like, "Yes, it's courtesy of the Braves." So you guys went Chick-fil-A. I heard that on the broadcast, but then I heard FP talking big. And he said there was a $99 tomahawk ribeye steak. He pledged he was going to order it. Joe, did he follow through, or was that all bluster?
No, he actually asked our young man who came in, Jose. He walks in about 2 hours before first pitch, and he's got the clipboard. He's got the list of all of the restaurants in the ballpark, or get something from the regular concession stand. He says it's all open. So FP, he's not afraid to ask these questions, and he said, "Hey, look, I was watching the All-Star game and saw this $99 the steak, and I think had it been available, he was going to get it, but Jose said, "Hey, you know what? That was just for the All-Star game. We don't have it for the regular season." So I think it was going to happen. I mean, we were going to enjoy some pregame steak yesterday, and instead we got something else from the concession stand. So yeah, they take great care of us here. It's so fun. They are really nice people down here in Atlanta.
Yeah, Joe, I'm a little bummed out to hear that the tomahawk steak was only for the All-Star game, because I thought yesterday Landon Root pitched good enough to earn himself a tomahawk steak.
Yeah, he's been amazing, and you look forward to his starts. I think it's pretty telling the numbers that he has put up this year after a Giants loss. I mean, it's 11 starts. The ERA is under 2. Really impressive stuff. He wants the ball in those big moments. I mean, yesterday was an enormous game for this Giants team, given how frustrating the beginning of this road trip has gone. The Giants, on the other end, were facing a pitcher that I know they felt like they could take advantage of. He's just up from AAA. They did exactly that. But, look, this Braves team is struggling, but there's still a lot of big hitters in that lineup. Any lineup that has Olsen and Acuna and Murphy and Albies in this ballpark, I mean, they're fully capable of putting up 8, 9, 10 runs and doing so in a hurry. So to see Landon go out and have that kind of success, he stopped that rally in the first inning, which I think kind of allowed him to settle into the start, and really a terrific pitching performance. He is a legitimate part of this Giants starting rotation, and we all can't wait to see him throw every 5th day.
So from last night's pitching matchup to today's, it's really good. I mean, Justin Verlander is who he is. We know who he is, 262 wins. He's ticketed for the Hall of Fame, no hitters, Cy Young's, World Series. And then maybe, I don't want to say a baby Verlander, but Spencer Strider, 26 years old. He's already been an all-star. He throws absolute cheese. Now, the win-loss record is not that impressive this year. I know he's had a little bit of injuries. What are we looking at today? Verlander versus Strider. Sort of two hard-throwing righties going at it, one in the winter and one in the summer of his career.
Yeah, we're going to see big-time fastball velocity. I thought it was interesting for Verlander. Obviously, that start last time out in Toronto didn't go very well, but the four-seam velocity was the highest it's been all year for him. He was about 95.5 miles per hour and was reaching back and hitting 97 somewhat regularly. Now, the Blue Jays, they were jumping on him early, so I know Verlander's spending a lot of time, watching the video and figuring out what he needs to do to make that next adjustment. I think he's in line to have a nice outing here today. And, yeah, Spencer Strider, it's legitimate, upper 90s with a wipeout slider, and it feels like he's back. I mean, the trajectory that he had been on, second in Rookie of the Year voting 3 years ago. He almost won the Cy Young and led all of baseball in strikeouts. He had 281 strikeouts 2 years ago in his second big league season, and then blew out the arm. He had Tommy John, but he's been back since about the middle part of April. He's been throwing well in this Braves rotation, and And we'll see here today. I think the first inning or two, first trip through the order, will be pivotal for Justin Verlander to get back on track, and we'll see if he's able to make those adjustments after that tough outing last time out.
Joe, great stuff. Good talking to you. Love your broadcasts. We'll look forward to you and FP today, and then have a great trip home. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
And, of course, when it's time for a change, you think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, engine light on, we can fix that. And Diamond Notes are next. One of those rare times that we get to do the Giants pregame. Always fun. Feels like we're driving Dad's expensive car or something, like in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Make sure you put that car in reverse and take some of that mileage off.
Great knowledge there for a kid. That movie came out years before you were born there, buddy. Diamond Notes. Let's go. Starting pitchers. Sponsored by Benjamin Moore Paints. Experience the Benjamin Moore retail difference at our independently owned, authorized retailers today or at benjaminmoore.com. Giants give the ball to Justin Verlander. Try again. He's 0-8 in 16 starts, 4.99 ERA, 67 strikeouts, 28 walks. All right. 79 in the third innings. All right. Trying to get the first win as a Giant. And, of course, rebound from his start on Friday in Toronto, which did not go well. He did not get out of the third inning, as was rudely reminded by that umpire, who was a D, quite frankly. The Braves are going with Spencer Strider. That name Pretty big name. At a young point in his career, has already accomplished a lot of things. He's got a 3.59 ERA coming into form now after Tommy John surgery. He got a win last week against the Yankees. Threw 6 scoreless against the Yankees. He has 19 strikeouts over his last 2 starts in 12 2/3. So it's a legit challenge with Strider on the hill.
Yes, and that's why the Giants have the keys to the game, sponsored exclusively by Stevens Creek Lincoln. Experience luxury on your own terms at Stevens Creek Lincoln. Buckle up and drive safely. And Murph, the key is run supports for Justin Verlander. Justin Verlander has only received 26 total runs of support in his 16 starts this year. That's 79.1 innings. That's 2.9 runs support average per game. He literally has received no run support in his last 3 outings. The 26 total runs are tied for the fewest in Major League Baseball for a pitcher with at least 16 starts. So the Giants should take some advice from Ozzy today and get Justin Verlander some runs, young Tony. Get him some runs. Let's get some runs.
Yeah, let's get some runs. Come on, don't mess around. Let's get some runs.
If Ozzy says so, we'll do it for sure. Hitting the Lumber is sponsored by Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit us today at goldenstatelumber.com. It's Willie Adamas, slashing .339 with a 1,164 OPS, 5 doubles, a triple, 6 homers, 17 RBIs, and 14 runs scored in 17 games this month. He had 9 homers on the year entering July, and kaboom, he's hitting a lot now. His 17 RBIs this month are tied for the 3rd most in the National League, behind only Kyle Schwarber and Kyle Stowers, Marcus.
Yeah, Willie Adames is healthy, and so is Matt Chapman, because it's time for our injury report sponsored by El Camino Health. Our strength, your health. And Matt Chapman has been reinstated from the IL dating back to July 5th. He missed 23 games with right hand inflammation after diving back to first base on June 8th against the Atlanta Braves. He's gone 12 for 52. That's a .231 batting average with 4 extra base hits since returning. But in his last 13 games, he is 6 for 13 with 3 extra base hits and 5 RBIs in his last 3 games, excuse me.
Coming up, we got our player who's hot, X Factor, and the out-of-town scoreboard as Diamond Notes continue on The Sports Leader. All right, we're back with Diamond Notes, part 2. Murph and Marcus doing the pregame. Giants Braves. Who's Hot is sponsored by Valley Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Solar. Locally and family owned for 63 years. And who's hot? Believe it or not, Rafael Devers playing his first career game, majors or minors, at first base last night. He does rank inside Major League Baseball's top 15 in walks, doubles, on-base percentage, and RBIs this year. So stay hot, Rafael.
Rafael Devers is heating up, but the hottest player on the team is Willie Adames, and that's why he's our X Factor today, sponsored by Casino Matrix. Casino Matrix progressive jackpots are here. Where are you?
Where you see?
Just drop in at 1-800-GAMBLER. Willie Adames is 39 for his last 128 at-bats. That's a .305 batting average with 10 home runs and 27 RBIs in his last 36 games dating back to June 10th. He has reached base in 29 of those 36 games. That's a .387 on-base percentage. And get this, the Giants are 31-13 when Willie Adames scores a run, and they're 9-4 on the season when he leaves the ballpark with a home run.
I would recommend he do so today. And finally, Out-of-Town Scoreboard, sponsored by NorCal Toyota. Let's go places with the Toyota Out-of-Town Scoreboard. 2 games this morning that affect the Giants. The Reds and the Nationals. That's right. You got to watch the Reds. They take on the Washington Nationals today. Gavin Lux, who's supposed to be the inspiration for our guy, Gavin Keelan, had 4 hits on Tuesday in a 6-1 loss to the Nationals. Thank you, Nats, for that. We appreciate that. So go Nats today. And the other game you got to watch is the Padres. The Giants are 3 back in the loss column from the Padres in the standings. They're in Miami, 9:10 in the morning, taking on the Miami Marlins, and the Marlins got them last night. So come on, Miami. Let's go, Kyle Stowers and the boys. Rake it around there. The Marlins have the 3rd-ranked team batting average in the National League. They can hit a little bit. So there you go. There's your Diamond Notes. We were proud to bring them to you. We were happy to bring them to you. And now stay tuned for Around the Park as Giants pregame continues.